Chapter 2441. Shirley arranged for someone to keep an eye on the crew cut and the man with the cape until they left. After thinking about it, Shirley decided to tell Su Yun about this. After all, Chung Huzi was famous for being shameless. He often did this kind of thing. In the past, Shirley wouldn't ask about those who were willing to be punished. However, today, this bastard actually wanted to touch Jiang Zixue. Shirley had to give him a warning. When Su Yun picked up Shirley's call, he was still at the company. He had a lot of things to deal with today, so he didn't go home. Bai Xiaoye even asked Cho Yun to send him dinner after she went home. "Brother Lei, is there something wrong with Jiang Zixue?" Su Yun knew that something must have happened if Shirley called at this time. Shirley briefly explained the situation and asked Su Yun, "I asked around. Cheng Huzi is staying at the movie hotel. Do you need me to give him a warning?" Su Yun thought for a while. "Brother Lei, come to the company and find me first. I still have some things to deal with. After you come, we can go and take a look together." "Okay, I'll drive there now." Shirley said, "I'll call you when I reach the company." Shirley hung up the phone and drove straight to the company. Sky Entertainment's office building was right across from the movie hotel. They were on the same road. When Shirley arrived at the company, Su Yun was already waiting for him downstairs. He finished his work and came down immediately. "So fast. How long have you been waiting?" Shirley smiled. "There was a small traffic jam on the road just now. I just came downstairs." Su Yun said, "Leave the car here and we'll walk there." Shirley turned off the car and followed Su Yun to the movie hotel. At this time, most of the people who were arranged to stay in the hotel were resting. Most of the people who could stay here were members of the crew. Then there were the A-list and B-list stars. There were also a few C-list stars who would stay here. To be honest, although C-list stars also made money, they couldn't afford to stay in a 5-star hotel every day. Those who still did this were still scheming, because only by living in such a place could they get close to famous directors and stars. People had to be willing to invest in themselves. It didn't matter if they started to make money or not. As long as they could get close to someone, they could wait to be promoted. Take Brother Bo's squirrel for example. He would bring him along on reality shows. It might seem like he was being bullied, but in fact, he was being taken care of in various ways to increase his exposure. Therefore, even if you were a C-lister, as long as you had an award-winning actor by your side, you would quickly become familiar with others. After Su Yun and Shirley arrived at the hotel, they went straight to Chung Huzi's room. With Chung Huzi's status, although he was staying in a 5-star hotel, he could only stay in an ordinary standard room. Those suites were for big directors and celebrities. Chung, who had already washed himself clean and sprayed perfume on his armpits and thighs. He was just waiting for someone to come. Hearing the sound of knocking on the door, Chung Huzi's face instantly bloomed with joy. He adjusted the towel wrapped around his lower body. The inside was empty, so that it would be convenient for him to free himself later. Cough cough. Chung Huzi opened the door and pretended to be deep in thought. He raised his head and said, "Who is it? It's already so late. Can you let me in?" Halfway through his sentence, Chung Huzi was stunned. Although he couldn't get close to a big boss like Su Yun, he definitely knew Su Yun and Shirley. He recognized them at a glance. To be honest, Chung Huzi was a little excited at this moment. After all, the entire Qingdao film base belonged to the Sky Entertainment Group. Now that the big boss of the Sky Entertainment Group was standing in front of him, he would be pretending to be calm if he said he wasn't excited. Isn't this Chairman Su? Why are you here?" Chung Huzi didn't know what to say for a moment. Shirley said, "Director Cheng, can we go in and have a seat?" Yes. Chung Huzi quickly said, "That's great. Your presence brings light to my humble dwelling." Su Yun smiled and walked into Chung Huzi's room. He said faintly, "Pang. Hee, it seems that Director Cheng isn't satisfied with the quality of my hotel room." No, I wouldn't dare, I definitely wouldn't dare. Chung Huzi quickly said, "It's just rhetoric. Ha ha ha, Chairman Su, please sit. What would you like to drink? When it came to flattering, Chang Huzi's skill was really good. In front of a real noble, he was more attentive than the director. In the current film and television industry, the Sky Entertainment Group was the leader. Su Yun was someone who could change a person's identity with one sentence. If Su Yun was happy and gave him a chance to direct a TV series or movie, Sky Entertainment Group would think of a way to promote it. Maybe he would be able to become a director with a box office of 1 billion yuan like a loser. Director Cheng, you sit down too. I'm looking for you to talk about something. Su Yun gestured. Chang Huzi nodded and bowed as he sat beside Su Yun. Manager Su, please tell me if you need anything. I will definitely handle it beautifully for you. Actually, it's nothing. Su Yun said, I'm not disturbing you by looking for you at this time, right? Chang Huzi was startled. He suddenly remembered that there would be a girl knocking on the door later. His face was a little unnatural. No, nothing is more important than Chairman Su's matter. Su Yun smiled. It seems that Director Cheng really has work to do. It's not much work. Ha ha ha, it's about a few servant roles in 2 days. I'm too busy during the day, so I have an appointment to interview the actors tonight. Chang Huzi said, That's nothing. Chairman Su, please tell me. Su Yun smiled meaningfully. You're here for an interview at night? Ha ha, I'm too busy during the day. Chang Huzi laughed dryly. Then Director Cheng, it's not very elegant to come for an interview dressed like this. Su Yun said, You're indeed a director. So free and easy. Su Yun knew in his heart that Chang Huzi was not a director at all. He was just a *T assistant director. He probably knew very little about filming. Chairman Su, you think too highly of me. Chang Huzi said, It's just an interview. There's no need to be so formal. Ha ha ha, I'm the one interviewing others. I don't need others to interview me. Su Yun nodded. Then, I wonder which actor Director Cheng has his eyes on. Normal actors definitely won't come for this kind of show. They're just extras. There are newcomers with good temperaments. Cheng Huzi was still playing dumb. Shirley directly exposed him. Could it be that Director Cheng has his eyes on someone and asks someone to invite them for you? I wonder which girl is so lucky that Director Cheng has his eyes on a newcomer and wants to give her a role. Cheng Huzi was a little embarrassed. No, how is that possible? Ha ha ha, I'm so busy during the day that I don't have time to pick actors. I heard that Director Cheng went to eat at the restaurant in the neighborhood where the extras are staying. Shirley said again, Director Cheng, with your status, why would you go to that place to eat? Cheng Huzi was completely flustered. How did Shirley know so much about his situation? He looked at Shirley blankly and then looked at Su Yun. Could it be that he had encountered a big problem? Director Cheng, as an assistant director, you have to assist the director in completing the artistic creation and filming of the film. You have to check the preparation work on the set and assist the director in directing the scene. Su Yun, assist the director in choosing actors. You're responsible for recruiting extras, special actors, and small roles. You also have to guide the performance. Chang Huzi swallowed his saliva and nodded. I'm in this line of work. I know the rules of this line of work. Su Yun said, What first and second lead roles? It's customary for the director to choose them. The assistant director is only responsible for contacting them to see if the other party's schedule allows and if they're interested in working with the director. As for the other secondary roles, the assistant director needs to find them. Am I right? Cheng Huzi nodded. You're an expert. You also have to arrange for the audience to enter the set, walk, rehearse, and talk about the scene. Su Yun, work is quite busy. No wonder you have to arrange for the casting to be done at night. Occasionally, Cheng Huzi said. It's also because time is tight. Otherwise, who wouldn't want to have a good night's sleep and rest? Chapter 2442. In that case, Director Cheng is really a dutiful assistant director. Su Yun said, Brother Lei, I knew Director Cheng wasn't that kind of person. What happened to you tonight must have been a misunderstanding. Someone is deliberately trying to frame Director Cheng. Shirley smiled. This acting was comparable to an A-list actor. I think so too. It must be those two bastards who deliberately framed Director Cheng. Saying that, Shirley threw the crew cut and Shawman's credentials in front of Chang Huzi. Director Cheng, you have to be more careful in the future. Don't be tricked by the people around you. Chang Huzi looked at the two credentials and was stunned. He didn't know what had happened, but he knew very well that if the credentials were taken away, it meant that these two people would be kicked out of the industry. Society is unpredictable now. Director Cheng, I heard that these two people have a good relationship with you. Su Yun, they actually used your name to do unspoken rules. Chang Huzi swallowed a mouthful of saliva and couldn't say a word. His heart was in his throat. Who knew what would happen next? This was completely beyond his judgment and tolerance. You have to minimize contact with these kinds of people in the future. You don't know when they will kill you. Director Cheng, you have to be more careful, Shirley said. Cheng Huzi just kept nodding. His mind was blank and he didn't have any ability to organize his words. Director Cheng, you don't look too good. Don't tell me you really authorized these two people to do this? Su Yun smiled faintly. You know that I hate rats who pollute the industry the most, especially those who like to play by the unspoken rules. No, I don't know anything. I really don't know anything. I've only seen this Ma Rue once. I've only seen this Zhang Ping once. I'm not familiar with them at all. Chang Huzi looked at the two credentials as if he had seen a ghost. Su Yun nodded. That's for the best. Suddenly, someone knocked on Chang Huzi's door again. Chang Huzi's buttocks seemed to have grown thorns. He stood up and looked at the door in horror. If something were to happen, then no one would come. What the hell was going on? Looks like Director Cheng is indeed quite busy. Su Yun smiled. Huzi Chang quickly waved his hand and shook his head. No. Maybe he knocked on the wrong door. Just ignore it. Shirley said, whether it's wrong or not, we'll know once we open the door. Then, he strode forward and opened the door, ignoring Chang Huzi's objection. There was a girl who was at most 18 or 19 years old standing at the door. She looked at Shirley blankly and quickly recognized him. She hurriedly said, Hello, Brother Lei. I might have gone the wrong way. You're looking for Director Cheng, right? That's right. Director Cheng is here. Shirley nodded and stepped aside. The girl was stunned. She gritted her teeth as if she had made up her mind before walking in. She saw that there was another person besides Chang Huzi. It took her a while to realize that this person was the CEO of Sky Entertainment Group. Oh my God! Could it be that what Brother Ma Rue said was true? As long as she went all out today, she could become famous. But it was said that Director Chang was alone, but now there were two other people. Could it be that these three men were going to be together? Thinking of this, the girl was dumbfounded. She had been in this circle for a year and knew that there were many dark secrets in this circle that no one knew. But when she stood in this situation, she knew what was scary. It was really scary. 3 men. Ma Rue told her to go all out. Could it be that she was going to be with 3 men in one night? No. She really couldn't accept it. But when she thought about the temptation of becoming famous, she couldn't bring herself to leave this place. Yes, the temptation of becoming famous was too great. She had seen so many A-list big names, all of them bright and beautiful. It was said that they had a lot of hidden bitterness behind them. If she couldn't become famous if she didn't take this step, then what should she choose? Miss, you're here for an interview with Director Cheng. Su Yun smiled slightly. When the girl heard Su Yun speak, her hand couldn't help but tremble. The handbag in her hand fell to the ground. She didn't have time to pick it up and nodded vigorously. Don't break it. Be careful. Shirley went forward to pick it up for her. It's so light. What's in it? The girl said carefully, It's all the clothes I brought for the interview. Shirley was curious. It was the first time he heard that clothes were brought for an interview. This was really interesting. Let me see. Although the girl wanted to stop him, she didn't dare to in the end. Shirley opened the handbag and casually took out a piece. He was speechless. They were all interesting clothes. There were nurses, stewardesses, fishing nets, and even open clothes. What the hell was going on? Director Cheng, your taste is really diverse. Shirley's face was already showing his displeasure. This old bastard was really something. He even asked her out at the same time for one night. What an interesting game. Beard Cheng panicked. He wanted to explain but was stopped by Su Yun. Su Yun looked at the girl and said, Miss, why are you here? The girl clenched her teeth and didn't dare to speak for a while. Beard Cheng took the opportunity and said, Hurry up and get out. Did you make a mistake? When she heard that Beard Cheng wanted to chase her out, she panicked. Yes, she panicked because her dream of becoming famous was right in front of her. No. I'm not leaving. The girl said, Director Cheng, Brother Ma Rue told me that as long as I accompany you today, you will give me a role. In the future, you can bring me along with the crew. If there's a scene, you will definitely let me in. Beard Cheng exclaimed in his heart. He wanted to slap his face until it broke. But, he didn't say that there are so many of you today. The girl clenched her teeth and threw caution to the wind. If there are so many of you, then you have to give me a supporting role. Otherwise, this is my minimum request. Cheng Huzi was dumbfounded. This girl was thinking too much. Her ambition wasn't small. I'm sorry, miss. I've disappointed you. Su Yun said, We didn't come here to play with the unspoken rules. If you want to walk this path, then you have to walk on the ground step by step. Practice your acting skills well. Maybe you will have a chance to succeed. The girl was dumbfounded. He didn't come here to play with the unspoken rules? Then why did he ask her to come here? If you want to take a shortcut, I advise you to go home after playing for a while. There are no shortcuts here. There are only scums who cheat. Shirley threw an open file in Beard Cheng's face. Beard Cheng was angry but didn't dare to say anything. Although Shirley wasn't a big shot in Sky Entertainment, he had a good relationship with Su Yun. I don't understand what you mean. Don't tell me you don't like me. The girl said, But this is my only chance. What should I do? What you have to do is leave quickly. Shirley said, Otherwise, be careful of splashing your blood. When Beard Cheng heard this, his whole body trembled. Miss, it's your luck to meet us today. It's not your chance. Su Yun said, Today, we came here to deal with this scum. I see that you are young, so I won't pursue it. But you better remember what I said to you. Sky Entertainment Studio prohibits the unspoken rules. If you don't want to stay here, then pack up and go home. The girl realized that things weren't what she thought at all. The Ma Rue you mentioned and the scum with the crew cut have already left. Shirley said, You, learn from your mistakes. Don't think about taking shortcuts in the future. The girl now completely understood that everything was a hooligan's scam. She had been deceived by Ma Rue. Now, Ma Rue wanted to use her to continue to please Beard Cheng. Su Yun waved his hand. Go, don't waste time. The girl silently turned around and left without looking back. She even closed the door tightly. Beard Cheng looked at the closed door. It was as if he had closed the door to hell. Director Cheng, shouldn't you explain this to me? Su Yun said, I remember I once said that those who come to Qingdao Film and Television City to film should be clean. Otherwise, you can go to any other film and television city. My Sky Entertainment doesn't care for a mess of crew. Beard Cheng didn't dare to say anything. Su Yun dared to say this because he had the strength. Chapter 2443. Director Su, I promise, I swear, this kind of thing will never happen again. Cheng Huzi said, I will definitely abide by the rules here. There is no future. Soo-yoon, Director Cheng, should I report this to your producer, or should you talk to your director yourself? I don't want you to appear here again. Cheng Huzi was stunned. Director Soo, this is just a small matter, right? I think there is still room for negotiation between us. Give me a chance to turn over a new leaf. I will not let you down. What is done is done. There is no room for regret. Soo-yoon smiled. Just like those girls who were cheated by you. Do they still have a chance? They don't have a chance to regret, and you are the same. You have to be responsible for what you have done. You don't have a chance to regret it either. Director Soo, you can't do this. Our crew will be in trouble if you do this. Chung Huzi said, a lot of work can't be done without me. Soo-yoon waved his hand. The world will still be the same without anyone. A TV show, a movie, it doesn't matter if anyone is missing. If there is a lack of investors, I can invest. If there is a lack of a director, I can hire someone else. If there is a lack of actors, I can arrange it. You are just a small assistant director. Shirley said, do you think that we can't do it without you? What a joke. There are a lot of assistant directors. Chung Huzi shook his head vigorously. No, I can't. There are some things that I have to deal with. Really, Director Soo, you have to think about it. I can tell you very responsibly that even though Paul Walker unfortunately passed away in a car accident, Fast and Furious 7 can still be completed. In the future, there will be 8, 9, and even more. Soo-yoon said, now, do you still think you're very important? Cheng Huzi was stunned. I am different from an actor. I am a director. I am a director. Wrong, you are not a director. Soo-yoon, you are just an assistant director. Even if you are a director, so what? Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you are a director? Let me tell you, in my territory, no one can do that. It doesn't matter if you're a producer. If I tell you to get lost, you have to get lost. Cheng Huzi was completely speechless. Just as Soo-yoon said, he was the boss here. Everything was decided by him. No one in the entire entertainment industry dared to challenge Soo-yoon. Even if there was one in the future, it had nothing to do with Cheng Huzi. Director Soo, you're forcing me into a dead end, Cheng Huzi said. Soo-yoon didn't deny it. Do you remember something that happened half a year ago? Sky Entertainment Group took it very seriously. Cheng Huzi was startled. Of course, he remembered that incident. A girl who ran to the masses was taken advantage of by many people. In the end, she got pregnant. Because she couldn't find the father of the child, she finally chose to commit suicide by jumping off a building. 2 lives had been taken in an instant. At that time, the impact of this incident was very bad. Soo-yoon had something to do and wasn't in Qingdao. Zhua Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang attended press conferences for many days. They had been investigating this incident, but they couldn't find the real mastermind. After this incident, there was the strict management of the Qingdao film and television base. Why did Soo-yoon want to completely eliminate the unspoken rules? It was because of this kind of scum. This kind of scum didn't care about other people's lives. Take Cheng Huzi for example. He didn't care about any girl he slept with. He didn't care about their future. He didn't care about their lives. If they got pregnant, he would never admit it. He didn't care if other people's bodies were hurt. He didn't care if other people's minds were hurt. The only thing he cared about was the few minutes of pleasure he would get. Therefore, Soo-yoon didn't have any pity for this kind of people. These people didn't deserve any pity. They were a bunch of trash, the black sheep of the herd. You should know very well that after that incident, those who dared to commit crimes in the Qingdao film and television base didn't have a good ending. Soo-yoon, I won't be merciful to you. I also won't pity you. You don't have to work in this industry anymore. Cheng Huzi's body tensed up. You want to ban me? It's not me. It's Qingdao film and television base. Soo-yoon, if someone wants to help you, they can take you to other places. But don't come to my place. Cheng Huzi's head was about to explode. Also, as long as you're the assistant director, none of Sky Entertainment's artists can participate. They must refuse. Su Yun. Also, Sky Entertainment won't participate in any investments. More importantly, none of Sky Entertainment's movie theaters will be showing it. Cheng Huzi's body trembled. Maybe you think that TV shows don't need to be shown in theaters. Su Yun. It doesn't matter. If any TV station shows a TV show that you participated in as the assistant director, Sky Entertainment's artists will forever refuse to participate in their programs. This is something I can easily do. Do you understand? This time, he was completely dead. Cheng Huzi didn't expect it to be so serious. You're so ruthless. You're too inhumane. Cheng Huzi was angry, but he didn't dare to get angry at Su Yun. After all, this was his territory. If he dared to make a fuss, he could be killed with one word. Su Yun smiled. Is that so? Am I more inhumane than you? What about you? Where's your humanity? You find young girls and use the opportunity of acting to trick them into sleeping with you. Then you touch their butts and leave, leaving these hurt girls behind. Do you know how many of them walked the path of filth because they met people like you? Cheng Huzi didn't speak. Let me tell you. Not everyone in the entertainment industry wants to use their bodies to climb up. Su Yun. Everyone dreams of using their own strength to climb up. These words were not wrong. Everyone's original intentions were good. Man's nature was good at heart. But it's because they met people like you that they discovered that there are crooked ways to climb up, and it's even simpler. Su Yun sneered. That's why the entertainment industry is so dirty and messy now. The cause of everything is people like you. Do you think people like you are wronged for being banned? When Cheng Huzi heard this, he suddenly calmed down a lot. He didn't know why he had this kind of feeling, the feeling of being baptized. He already couldn't remember how many girls he had used the method of choosing roles to get into bed with him. He couldn't even count. He couldn't even remember some of their names. It was impossible to remember. There were no feelings. It was a transaction for profit. These young girls didn't know their own value at all. They looked down on themselves. They were small characters who did whatever they were told to do. They didn't care about themselves at all. They didn't know that their real capital was themselves. If a person didn't even care about himself, who else would care about him? Everyone was the same. The person who cared about himself the most was himself. When he could treat himself as a transaction object, others wouldn't care about him at all. In the end, the ones who would be hurt were those who didn't take themselves seriously. In this entertainment industry, how many people finally understood this principle, but they were already worthless? There were really too many. If they still had the chance, he believed that they wouldn't have made that choice. People had to live with self-respect. Only then could they gain the respect of others. They had to learn to be a person first before they could become a celebrity. I don't want to waste my breath on you. Su Yun, pack your things and call your director to say goodbye. Cheng Huzi laughed bitterly. A single slip may cause everlasting sorrow. Don't make it sound so nice. You often walk by the river and your shoes will get wet. Today I caught you. If I don't, next time, and the time after that, you will fall sooner or later. Shirley said, don't think that you are wronged. Those girls who have been taken by you are the ones who are wronged. Chapter 2444. You can ban me as an example to others, but let me tell you, this industry is already rotten. It's not something that can be changed by getting rid of me. Cheng Huzi said, even if I'm gone today, there will be thousands of people like me tomorrow. Su Yun looked up, and a cold glare swept across Cheng Huzi's face. Then I'll deal with one of them. I don't believe that the trash in this industry won't be cleaned up one day. Although Cheng Huzi was so frightened by the cold glare that his body trembled, he was still tough. Yes, you have the ability, but only your Sky Entertainment Group can do that. It's impossible to completely change the current situation of the industry. Only Sky Entertainment is doing that now, but after a long time, everyone will realize that the previous art industry was cleaner and had more inheritance. If the current entertainment industry goes on like this, it will only decline. Soo Yoon said, South Korea is a good example. When the video of a porn star sleeping with a celebrity went viral, the ugly state of the South Korean entertainment industry was completely unveiled. Even so, this country still relied on this kind of culture to attract attention. To South Korea, celebrities were just high-class chickens and high-class ducks. Being famous didn't earn money at all. Going out to make deals with those high-ranking officials and rich people was the only way to earn money. When that day came, the Hwa-sia people would no longer have the face to call this industry the entertainment industry. What was the difference between this and the outer circles? The South Koreans always saw the small profits in front of them. They packaged celebrities and sold them at high prices. This seemed to have become a normal process in the South Korean entertainment industry. Look at the so-called female celebrities in South Korea. Song Ji-shan committed suicide, Kim Yoli committed suicide, Park Hye-sang committed suicide, Lee Hwaelan committed suicide, Jong Zian committed suicide, Lee En-ju committed suicide. These female celebrities were the female leads in the video that was released back then. On the surface, they were all glamorous female celebrities, but behind them, they were all walking corpses. Under the control of premeditated people, they had sex with all kinds of men for money. Did they exist just to serve those high-ranking officials and rich people? Did they exist just to let the rich people vent? No, they existed for the entertainment industry. It wasn't because they wanted to be that kind of woman, but because their circle forced them to be that way. Even if they looked happy when they were with men, what about behind their backs? Each and every one of them was suffering from depression and mental illness. Therefore, once the circle was reduced to such a state, it would become a killing factory. Soo Yoon wanted to change this situation. He did not want the Hwa-sia circle to become like the Korean entertainment circle. Entertainment was a form of art, and film was even more of an art. In the future, Hwa-sia needed actors who could really act. Such people were worthy of everyone's respect and fans. He wasn't someone who could become famous just by stirring up a few scandals. Why would Hwa-sia have such a brainless fan? This culture was completely eroded by the Korean entertainment industry. There were 50 million people in Korea, and there were only 20 to 30,000 artists who debuted. What kind of concept was that? That meant that 1 out of 200 people was an artist. This ratio of artists was almost comparable to the ratio of Hwa-sia migrant workers to Hwa-sia citizens, right? Therefore, it was said that artists who debuted in Korea would definitely have it tough. However, some brainless fans did not think so. They felt that their idols had it tough, and that their idols deserved the best praise. Wake up, brainless fans. Anyone who was successful would have to go through all kinds of hardships. No one could have a smooth life. Even elementary school students could recite it now. When the heavens gave a great responsibility to a great man, they would first have to suffer hardships to strengthen their will, their muscles and bones, and their actions would be disrupted. However, some brainless fans had never heard of this saying. That was because most of their thoughts were focused on how hard it was for their idols. When these brainless fans grew up and realized that they were uncultured, they would know what a hard life was if their family's business went down, or if their family had fallen from power. There were many people who had it much harder than those who thought it was hard. How many web novelists could only bear to eat a packet of instant noodles every 2 days in the 2000s? If one wanted to be above others, one would definitely have to suffer some grievances and hardships. This was not just an individual phenomenon, but an overall phenomenon. Why was the probability of wealthy families nurturing vermin much higher than ordinary families? To put it bluntly, it was because they lacked training. Director Soo, I'm completely convinced by your great dream. Chang Huzi smiled. I admit that I'm indeed a good-for-nothing, but I'm not the only good-for-nothing. This industry is King good-for-nothing, isn't it? I also became like this bit by bit. I wasn't like this in the past. Soo Yoon, you have to take responsibility for your mistakes. There's no point in finding excuses. I'll leave. I'll leave right now. To be honest, Director Soo, I should thank you. Thank you for letting me leave this D*MN industry earlier. Chung Huzi said, since you have such dreams, then let's wait and see. Let me see if this D*MN entertainment industry can still become a white lotus in my lifetime. There are many white lotuses in the entertainment industry. Su Yun, what's wrong with that? I think it's quite good. Shirley glared at Chung Huzi. If you want to leave, then hurry up and pack your things and leave. I don't have as much patience as Director Su. I'll give you an hour. After an hour, if you're still in this room, I'll use my own method to ask you to leave. Cheng Huzi snorted. Brother Lei, I also paid for the room. Even if I don't leave today, you can't do anything to me, right? I have the right to check out at 12 noon tomorrow. Do you really think that I don't dare to touch you? Shirley was anxious. We're all people who follow the law, okay? Chung Huzi said. Anyway, he had no way out now. He couldn't leave in such a cowardly manner. He had to leave in a carefree manner. He couldn't be angry anymore. Brother Lei, if you want to hit me, then I'll call the police. Shirley said disdainfully. Are you worthy of me hitting you? Let me tell you, this is a movie hotel. I don't want to dirty the hotel. Don't talk big. Chung Huzi said. It's not like I don't know about your matters. You've already washed your hands of it. Don't act like a big brother all day, okay? Shirley was stunned. These words actually hit the nail on the head. You're now an extras manager, really? Chung Huzi said, if it wasn't for Director Su, who do you think would look up to you? Shirley didn't care about this. It doesn't matter. It's fine as long as my brother can look up to me. It's fine as long as my brother Su Yun can look up to me. At work, he's Director Su, and I'm an extras manager. But outside of work, I can treat him as a brother. That's enough. Chung Huzi was blocked by Shirley's words and couldn't say a word. If you don't do this, maybe there's another future waiting for you. Su Yun smiled slightly. You should be very lucky that I can let you leave Qingdao so easily. This is your good luck. Because I'm in a good mood during this time. Although Su Yun's last words had a smile on his face, it was particularly cold. Chung Huzi couldn't help but shiver. With Su Yun's status, if he really wanted to kill him, it was just like pinching an ant. Chung Huzi packed his things and left. He couldn't understand. As Su Yun, he had such power and resources. He had such a huge entertainment empire. As long as he said a word, which woman wouldn't serve him obediently? But what was he thinking? He actually wanted to turn the entertainment circle into a lotus pond? Not only would he not go after female artists, but he also wouldn't want those who were sent to him. This was simply the biggest weirdo that Chung Huzi had encountered in the entertainment circle for more than 10 years. He left the circle. If someone asked him in the future what was his deepest memory in the circle, then he would definitely tell them what Su Yun said to him. This weirdo's weirdo dream. But if one day, this weirdo's dream really came true, would there be more and more positive energy in this society? Indeed, Chang Huzi himself admitted that the entertainment circle should have more real actors, real singers, and people who really did art for art's sake. Chapter 2445. It was already late at night, but the Qingdao film base didn't become dark because of the darkness of the night. Su Yun believed that this place would become brighter and brighter. At the same time, Zhang Yexia she had already won today's racing competition. In the 26-kilometer race, her war god was 2 cars ahead of her opponent's McLaren P1. On this racetrack that didn't have any curves, it might seem ordinary and there wasn't any technical content, but in fact, it tested a person's mentality every minute. Once something happened here, there was only one result: death. No matter how good the car was, as long as it had an accident, it wouldn't survive. Moreover, this wasn't a closed racetrack at all. There were many private cars driving at high speed. Therefore, people who dared to race here must have an abnormal mentality, or else they wouldn't be able to afford it. Along the way, Zhang Yexia she almost crashed into a private car on the road many times. She couldn't even count it herself. Every time she raced here, it was when her heart beat the fastest. This was much more exciting than racing on those mountain tracks. Her opponent obviously didn't think that the situation on this road would be so crazy. Clearly, there were so many private cars that it made his hair stand on end. He had no way to speed up his car. He knew very well that although Zhang Xiaxi's War God was heavily modified, its horsepower definitely wouldn't exceed 800 horsepower. His McLaren P1 already had over 900 horsepower. Just purely racing speed, it was impossible for him to lose. It was because of those damn private cars, the private cars that kept appearing in front of him, the private cars that made him panic. If it wasn't because of these private cars, how could he lose? This race can't even be considered a race. The road condition on this road is so bad, there are so many private cars, there's no way to bring out the maximum horsepower of my supercar. At this time, no one wanted to admit defeat. If you can't afford to play, then don't play. Zhang Xia, she disdainfully said, if you can't afford to lose, then don't come out to race. It's boring. Her opponent's eyes turned red. In front of so many people, she actually dared to say that he shouldn't play if he can't afford to lose. Where could he put his face? Who are you saying can't afford to lose? I'm just talking about the facts. This kind of road is simply advantageous to you. Don't be so one-sided. If your car didn't reach its limit, does that mean my car has reached its limit? Xiaxi Zhangye snorted. This is not F1. This is a city racetrack. A city racetrack will never have no private cars. Do you understand? His opponent couldn't utter a single word after hearing his words. I advise you again. If you are not only bad at driving, but also not smart enough, don't come out to challenge me. Xiaxi Zhangye said, what is a city track? Do you need me to explain it to you? I don't need you to explain to me. Xiaxi Zhangye shook her head. No, no, no. I have to explain it to you. A beautiful city, bright lights, tall buildings, and endless traffic. This is a city track. In Tokyo Circle, if you don't even understand these things, then don't mix in this circle. Alright, if you agree to a bet, you must accept your loss. There's no point in chattering like this. If you don't want to admit defeat, and feel that there is too much traffic on the city track, then we can meet on the mountain track another day. The middleman seemed to be a little impatient with this guy who didn't want to admit defeat. Zhang Xiaxi, remember this, I will definitely win against you. At that time, it will not be up to you. Xiaxi Zhangye waved her hand disdainfully. First drive your car into the wall. Remember, it doesn't count if it's not scrapped. Humph. Xiaxi Zhangye didn't seem to be interested in her opponent's following performance. For her opponent's performance of crashing cars, she treated it as a gift to everyone present today. When Lin Ge caught up, Xiaxi Zhangye had already gotten back into the car and was waiting to leave. Lin Ge was anxious. He didn't know if Xie Fei's had arrived or not. If Xiaxi Zhangye left, with his bulky business car, it would be impossible to catch up. However, everything didn't seem to go smoothly. Xiaxi Zhangye was about to leave after getting in the car, not giving Lin Ge a chance to react. Fortunately, the moment Xiaxi Zhangye left, a flying Toyota 86 drew a beautiful curve and directly left the car in front of Xiaxi Zhangye's War God. If Xiaxi Zhangye's War God was considered a pauper in a sports car, then this Toyota 86 was even more of a pauper in a sports car. It was simply at the bottom of the heap. Lin Ge saw Xie Fei sitting in the car at a glance. Sigh, he really didn't know how much advertising money Toyota gave him to get such a weak sports car to compete with Xiaxi Zhangye's War God? One must know that a McLaren had just lost a race. What could an 86 change? Perhaps Takumi Fujiwara had seen too much. He really thought that an 86 could become a super legend. Let's celebrate. I'll treat you to supper. Xie Fei's charm was very high. Few girls could ignore his signature smile. You're really good. However, Xiaxi Zhangye's lips curled up slightly and she sneered. If you can catch up to me, then I can consider it. Xie Fei stepped on the gas pedal. The car's engine made a charming sound. Of course. What if you can't catch up? Xia Shi Zhongye asked. Hit the wall or jump into the sea. It's up to you. Xia said, I won't be like your opponent just now. What do you want? Just say it. Xia Shi Zhongye was stunned. This man's straightforwardness made her feel a little surprised. Where did you get your courage from? A Toyota 86 wants to race with me. Ha ha ha, you don't really think you're the tofu seller in the movies, do you? Xie nodded. Maybe I really am. Then let's go. Xia Shi Zhongye suddenly stepped on the gas pedal and prepared to leave. However, Xie didn't intend to give her the chance. He rushed forward and directly blocked Xia Shi Zhongye's path. Then he took the lead and went on the road. If you want to race with a sports car several times better than your own, the only way to win is to always suppress the front. Don't give the opponent a chance to overtake. Xie was very clear that once Xia Shi Zhongye overtook him, he would definitely not be able to catch up. After all, Xia Shi Zhongye wasn't a beginner female driver like the road killer. Her driving skills weren't any weaker than a professional driver. Xia Shi Zhongye also realized Xie thoughts. She knew that the other party wanted the stupid bird to fly first, but she didn't care. There were countless sports cars that lost to her god of war. The 10 million McLaren P1 just now wasn't the first. Just like this, the two cars rushed out one after the other. Lin Gu helplessly shook his head. Kidnapping was still so fun. He really admired Brother Zhe. Fortunately, with Xie in front, Lin Gu wouldn't be left behind in the dust. He also followed closely behind. Soon, Xia Shi Zhongye regretted racing with the man in the car in front. She had never seen a man who could accurately calculate the acceleration and distance of the car. Every time she had a chance to overtake, the other party would always be able to change direction a second earlier and instantly block her way. In this situation, once Xia Shi Zhongye accelerated, there would be a rear-end collision. She could only hit the brakes. Just like this, Xie suppressed Xia Shi Zhongye all the way. Unfortunately, Xia Shi Zhongye's sports car was suppressed by Xie and couldn't increase its speed. The two people sped out like this for 30 kilometers. Xia Shi Zhongye suddenly gave up on a road with less traffic. Originally, this was the place where she had the best chance to overtake because there weren't many cars on the road. However, she suddenly turned on the turn signal and slowed down the car to the side of the road. That's right, she admitted defeat. She was willing to accept defeat. This was Xia Shi Zhongye's principle. She didn't need to continue racing. Even if she had the chance to overtake, her sports car and a Toyota 86 that was at most a little better than a sedan, it was a failure to overtake after 30 kilometers. Xie saw the car stop in the rearview mirror and a smile appeared on his face. He knew he won. Xie made a beautiful drift and turned the car directly in front of Xia Shi Zhongye's car. He got out of the car and introduced himself. Xie, I'm very happy to have the opportunity to meet Miss Zhongye. Xia Shi Zhongye didn't get out of the car. Instead, she looked up at Xie. Hua Xia. Chapter 2446. Xie nodded. Yes, why? Miss Zhongyi, are you going back on your words? Xia Shi sneered. I'm not the kind of person who goes back on her words. I'm willing to accept my loss. Where do you want to eat? I'll treat you. Then let's go to my house, Xie said. Xie said. There was some provocation in his words. He wanted to see if Zhang Yi and Xia Shi dared to agree. Xia Shi smiled again. This time, her smile was a little interesting. You think I don't dare? Okay, since we're going to your house, I don't need to treat you. Miss Zhang Yi, you're giving me face. How can I let you treat me? Xie said. I'll lead the way. Miss Zhang Yi, follow me. In that case, you should be more careful. Don't let me find a chance to take revenge. Xia Shi said. Of course, even if I surpass you again, I won't go back on my words. Xie knew that she wanted to fight again for her face and honor. Of course, I'll do my best. Miss Zhang-yi, please have mercy. CFAI's returned to the car and quickly called Lin Gu. He told him to go home immediately and not to follow them anymore. Lin Gu had a hard time chasing them all the way. He was really disappointed when he heard this. What did he do the whole night? He was thrown around by other people's supercars. He chased them all night but couldn't see their taillights. Now, it was settled so easily. The little lamb agreed to let him go to the wolf's den? Phew, what a joke. The little lamb was a little lamb. She really didn't have any tricks up her sleeve. Lin Gu could only turn the car around and quickly return to their residence in Dongying. When CFAI's, Xia Shi, and Zhang Yi returned, Lin Gu had just stopped the car. You have other friends here? Xia Shi was startled. She didn't expect there to be two people. Although it didn't affect anything, she was still a little worried. But then again, she was the young miss of the Sakura group. Who would dare to touch her? Unless this person didn't want to stay in Dongying anymore. Brother, she's already back. There's no need to beat around the bush with her, right? Lin Gu said, she might really think that you like her. If you can't control your charm and the young miss of the Sakura group falls in love with you, then this matter will be a little tricky. CFAI smiled. Miss Zhang Ye's standards are very high. Normal men can't possibly enter her eyes. How do you know? What if? Lin Gu asked. Because I heard that Miss Zhang Yi is a lesbian. She likes women, so she won't be interested in men. CFAI's had already figured everything out. Zhang Ye Xia Shi frowned. Just now, these two Hua Xia men had been talking in Chinese. She didn't understand Chinese at all, so her whole mind was blank. What is your goal? Zhang Ye and Xia Shi finally couldn't help but ask, if you have any improper thoughts, I advise you to take them back. Otherwise, you will regret it. Lin Gu clapped his hands and said, Miss Zhang Yi is indeed a smart person. You can see through our improper thoughts at a glance. What do you want? Zhang Ye and Xia Shi realized that they were in trouble. We don't have any other intentions. CFAI said, we just feel that if Miss Zhang Yi can be a guest here, the Sakura group will be more humble and accept our suggestion. You're crazy. Zhang Ye and Xia Shi said, kidnapping me. You won't be able to leave Dongying alive. You'd better understand that this is Dongying, not Hua Xia. If you do this to me in Dongying, you will definitely die miserably. CFAI shrugged. It seems that Miss Zhang Yi also understands this logic. Then you should tell your father not to let your people cause trouble in Hua Xia's territory. That way, you will be very unlucky. Don't you understand the same logic very well? Lin Gu said, your Kaneda Tekawawa and the others are all crippled now. The two women who went didn't have a good ending either. Do you still plan to continue? Zhang Ye and Xia Shi were stunned. Although she was the young miss of the Sakura group, she had never asked about her father's matters. She had indeed heard that her father had accepted a very important mission to go to Hua Xia to retrieve something. He had already made many arrangements. She didn't expect that not only did this matter not succeed, but he also provoked people from Hua Xia. If your people can cause trouble in Hua Xia, then you can't blame us. CFAI said, Miss Zhang Yi is an expert in cars. If it wasn't for those messy things, perhaps we could still have some topics to talk about. Perhaps we could even become friends. Zhang Ye and Xia Shi sneered. Are you worthy? It's limited to car modifications. CFAI smiled. Don't tell me you think that my Toyota 86 can't outrun you today? As he spoke, CFAI suddenly opened the engine of his car for Zhang Ye and Xia Shi to see. When Zhang Ye and Xia Shi saw it, they were shocked. This wasn't an ordinary Toyota 86 at all. The inside had been completely modified beyond recognition. This was a supercar with an 86 shell. The engine was two V8 engines with a displacement of 8 liters in series. It became a V16 engine with a displacement of 16 liters. The Bugatti Veyron W16 had this kind of structure. The horsepower of CFAI's car was at least 1,000 horsepower. The talk easily exceeded 1,000 nm. This was simply a wolf in sheep's clothing. Lin Guo was also shocked by the things inside. Brother, where did you get such a car? Isn't it a bit of a pity to put such a good thing in such a broken shell? People who like to play with cars don't care about the appearance. Just like Miss Zhang Yi, an ordinary Wargood's performance completely beats all the supercars that are twice as expensive as Ferrari or Lamborghini. Xie Fei said. It's just because she likes the appearance of the war god. The person who modified this 86 is the same. He likes the appearance of the 86. Xie Fei finished speaking and looked at Zhang Ye and Xia Shi. Miss Zhang Yi, am I right? Zhang Ye Xia Shi looked at Xie Fei in disbelief. She couldn't understand this person anymore. Then what do you want? Zhang Ye Xia Shi stared at Xie Fei with wide eyes. As long as your father knows that you're here as a guest, if I go to see him, I believe he won't refuse, right? Xie Fei smiled. I'll have to trouble you to cooperate. My brother's temper isn't very good. It's best if you don't provoke him. Lin Gu immediately made a ferocious face. Did you hear that? If you don't cooperate, don't blame me for tearing you apart. With just you. Zhang Ye Xia Shi grew up as Sakura's team leader. She had seen all kinds of experts in Japan, so she didn't put Lin Gu in her eyes. Lin Gu smiled in disdain. With just me, I'm not someone you can easily deal with. What do you have to stop me? Zhang Ye Xia Shi asked. Lin Gu smiled in disdain. He suddenly reached out and pinched Zhang Ye Xia Shi's back. With just this. Xia Shi Zhang Ye clearly felt the thing inside her burst open. She looked at Lin Gu with a shocked expression and waved her hand to slap him. Lin Gu grabbed her wrist and easily held her firmly in his hands. Brother, don't worry. If she can escape from my hands, I'll take her surname. Lin Gu easily put Zhang Ye Xia Shi on his shoulder and strode into the house. Xie Fei shook his head helplessly and quickly got into the car. He wanted to see if Zhang Ye Jinghei, who had always treated his precious daughter as the apple of his eye, would be at a loss. The Sakura Group's status in Japan was so high that no one dared to provoke them easily. They probably would never have thought that they would fall to such a state today. Speaking of which, Zhang Ye Xia Shi was really easy to deal with. As long as he beat her in car racing, she really dared to follow him. She was really not afraid of being thrown into a wolf's den and made into a movie to be sold on CD. The car started, and Xie Fei left happily. With a trump card in hand, he could speak with a straight back. Who asked Zhang Ye Xia Shi to be so easy to fool? Who asked the Sakura Group to be so arrogant and think that no one would dare to touch Zhang Ye Xia Shi? Chapter 2447. Lin Gu tied Zhang Ye Xia Shi's hands to the sofa and made himself a cup of tea. He sat opposite her leisurely. How is it? Comfortable, right? My technique is good, right? You do have time to be happy for a while, because soon, you will regret your ignorance. Zhang Ye Xia Shi was not afraid. Are you trying to scare me? Lin Gu crossed his legs. If you can talk to me properly, I might be able to pour you a cup of tea. Your lips are dry, you must be thirsty, right? Humph. Zhang Ye Xia Shi said, if I lose a hair, you won't have any capital. Don't forget, although I'm in your hands, your friend is already on the way to the Sakura Group. When he gets there, he won't be able to control it. Lin Gu waved his hand. You still have time to worry about us. I'm really touched. Miss Zhang Ye, think about yourself. Do you want some tea? Pour me tea. Zhang Ye Xia Shi said, this is what you should do. Don't think about using this to threaten me. No matter what I need now, you have to satisfy me. If you need a man, I can definitely satisfy you. But it's hard to say. Lin Gu joked. I heard that even if you Japanese play bondage, you have to get a license. There aren't many bondage masters in the country. Do you think I have hope if I take the test? With my level, you can feel it. Zhang Ye Xia Shi snorted. I've seen so many shameless people. You can really be ranked first. Thank you for thinking so highly of me, Miss Jiangye. Lin Gu chuckled. You think too highly of me. I feel like there are a lot of people in Japan who are more shameless than me. At least, those celebrities in the hard drive are more shameless than me. I can't be as shameless as them. Jiangye snorted. Are you Huaxia people noble? This is our culture. Yes, in the whole world, only you Japanese treat this as a culture that can be passed down. Lin Gu said, I don't have that level of appreciation. What is your goal? Jiang Yi and Xia she asked. Didn't I tell you already? Lin Gu said, your people went to Huaxia to cause trouble, so of course we can't just stand by and watch. As long as you don't stop, we won't let you have any peace. Do you need me to repeat this so many times? Jiangye Xia she looked coldly at Lin Gu. Then I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. The Sakura group will definitely not give up on a mission that must be completed because of a small matter. Just as Xia Shi Jiangye said, when CFAI stood in front of Kyohei Jiangye and took out the chips, Kyohei Jiangye was indeed very shocked, but when he heard the conditions, his reaction was even more complicated. Do you know who you're dealing with? Kyohei Jiangye said coldly. In Dongying, not to mention a mere Huaxia person like you, even the Prime Minister of Dongying has to be courteous to me. How dare you stand in front of me and threaten me with my daughter? CFAI shrugged. As you can see, it's because I have your daughter as a bargaining chip that I dare to threaten you. Abe-san doesn't dare to threaten you, not because he's afraid of you, but because he doesn't have your precious daughter as a bargaining chip. Do you understand? Young man, don't be too arrogant. Kyohei Jiangye said, otherwise, the only one who will suffer will be you. I'm sorry, but at least I don't think I'm that pitiful now. Instead, shouldn't you think about your current situation? CFAI smiled. If I can't get a perfect answer in 2 hours and go back, then Leader Jiangye's precious daughter will be in some trouble. Kyohei Jiangye wasn't afraid of anyone threatening him, but he was really worried that his daughter would be threatened. This was something he really couldn't accept. One of his subordinates suddenly hurried to Kyohei Jiangye's side and whispered in his ear, Leader Jiangye, we've searched all the places we can find, but there's no trace of the young miss. Kyohei Jiangye finally realized that he had encountered a thorny problem. The other party didn't seem to be easy to deal with. What do you want to do? Kyohei Jiangye finally couldn't hold it in anymore. His calmness was burning bit by bit. If you want money, then name your price. But I hope you can think clearly about how much money you can spend before you die. Leader Jiangye, you're underestimating me. CFAI smiled. If I wanted money, would I need to waste so much energy? Kyohei Jiangye slapped the table. Then what do you want? Speak. You're so angry, can we still play? CFAI said, no matter what, I'm still a guest, right? Leader Jiangye's way of treating guests is indeed somewhat disappointing. You kidnapped my daughter, and you still want me to treat you like a guest? Aren't you a little too naive? Kyohei Jiangye said coldly, cut the crap. Speak your request. CFAI smiled faintly. I don't want your money, nor do I want your things. I don't want your daughter's life either. I'm just telling you one thing, don't send people to Huaxia to cause trouble. Kyohei Jiangye's expression changed in an instant. Who are you? Who I am is not important. CFAI said, what's important is that if you don't want Huaxia to stop, I can make you stop. Your Sakura group has always been on Huaxia's blacklist. If you don't do anything, Huaxia will definitely not provoke you. Kyohei Jiangye gritted his teeth. My people have all died in Huaxia. What do you think? CFAI said, but you can't blame others. It's your people who don't have the ability, so you can't blame others. If Kyohei Jiangye's daughter was not in the hands of the other party, he would have been furious. If I were that kind of trash, you wouldn't let me leave alive, right? CFAI smiled. That's why you can't blame others. If you had the ability to stand in front of you like me, what could you do to me? Kyohei Jiangye's anger had completely rushed to the top of his head, but this anger calmed him down again. Leader Jiangye, I can give you a piece of good news. At least you can be sure that the thing you want has been destroyed, CFAI said. Do you think there's any point in doing this? Kyohei Jongye did not say a word. He had to agree now even if he did not want to. He had no choice. I know what you're thinking. Although the thing has been destroyed, you can still make a replica with the ingredients and ratio. CFAI smiled. I want to ask, Leader Jongye, what do you want to do after you get the Ebola virus weapon? Kyohei Jongye took a deep breath. Did this even need to be said? This was the idea of the Japanese emperor and the prime minister. This was the goal of their leaders. CFAI shook his finger disapprovingly. You don't have to tell me. I know what the Japanese's goal is. I can tell you very clearly that it's impossible. Because even if you get it, we won't be worried or afraid at all. We've already developed a way to deal with the virus infection. I'm sorry. Kyohei Jongye looked at CFAI in shock. He did not believe it, of course, he did not believe it. This is impossible. Absolutely impossible. Whether you believe it or not is your business. CFAI said, I'm just informing you, Team Leader Jiang Yi. I can tell you clearly that if I can capture your daughter once, I can do it a second time. Of course, that includes your wife and even yourself. You're too arrogant. Kyohei Jongye was extremely annoyed by CFAI's confidence. I'm not joking. CFAI said, today, I can leave this place safely, and your daughter can be safe and sound. If not, I don't mind exchanging a life for a life. I know you have many experts here, and I can't escape by myself. Kyohei Jongye said, okay, 1 for 1. I can let you go, but my daughter can't be harmed. Of course, I promise. CFAI said, but if Hua Xia sends news of your Sakura group causing trouble in the future, the next time I kidnap someone, it won't be a living person. Chapter 2448. Although Kyohei didn't want to believe CFAI's words, the other party's eyes were very serious. He could see the killing intent in them. Of course, if Team Leader Jiang Yi has the confidence to. Let's not talk about it. It's inauspicious. CFAI said, if that's the case, your threat won't exist. You want to play a game of hunting with me? Kyohei said, I promise you'll regret it. This is Japan. I'm familiar with every inch of the land here. CFAI shrugged his shoulders. It doesn't matter. I'm just playing for fun. You're the hunter, I'm the prey. However, I advise Team Leader Jiang Yi to find a professional hunter. Otherwise, it'll be too boring if you're bitten to death by the prey. Kyohei had never seen such a reckless guy. He was so confident in himself and so conceited. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Kyohei said, I'll definitely let you experience the feeling of being threatened by death. As long as the Sakura group doesn't appear in Hua Xia again, Miss Jongye Xiaxi's safety will definitely not be a problem. CFAI said, we can slowly play a game between us until you catch me or you give up. CFAI raised his voice. But once it involves Hua Xia and your Sakura group's harassment, then Team Leader Jiang Yi, don't blame me for killing your daughter. Jongye Kyohei looked coldly at CFAI. He only needed to tear this guy to shreds, and Jongye and Xiaxi would be safe. I promise you that before I catch you, Hua Xia will be safe and sound, Kyoko Jongye said calmly. But if you die in my hands, you won't have the chance to speak. I'm looking forward to such a game. CFAI said, let's play slowly. I'm not in a hurry. I still have many scenic spots in Japan that I haven't seen. Otherwise, I can give you a clue as a greeting gift. Kyohei looked at CFAI in confusion. He didn't understand what he was thinking. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll leave some traces in your Yasukuni Ghost Society. CFAI said, if Team Leader Jiang Yi is confident, then arrange for people to catch me there. Good. I will definitely let you get what you want, Kyohei Jongye said disdainfully. He simply did not believe that this fellow would dare to carve words in the Ghost Society. This was just a method he used to play with people. Jongye Jinghei was not that stupid and naive. Of course, he would not believe CFAI's words. I'm not joking, CFAI said. I look forward to our next meeting, After Xie Fei's left, Zhang Jinghe waited for his daughter's news with a nervous heart. Fortunately, this guy was still very tactful. He kept his word and released Zhang Xiaxi. After Zhang Xiaxi returned home, she refused to say anything. No matter how Zhang Jingping asked her what happened, she ignored him. In the end, he was forced into a corner and said to Kyohei Zhang, "You're the one who caused this trouble. The fire burned me. This has nothing to do with me, okay? I know this has nothing to do with you. It's all Dad's fault. But you should at least tell me where they live." Zhang Jinghe said. "If I don't even know where they live, how can I avenge you? How to find them is your problem. I don't need revenge. I'm fine now. They didn't do anything to me." Zhang Xiaxi said. "So you can find them yourself. I won't participate." Zhang Jinghe was stunned by his daughter's words for a long time. He was completely speechless. "You're really too ignorant," Zhang Jinghe said. "Father, who are you working for?" "It's for our great Japanese empire. It's for our emperor, for our prime minister. Everything is for our homeland. Do you understand? Do you know what homeland is?" Zhang Xiaxi retorted. "For our homeland? Then why go to someone else's homeland?" This sentence made Zhang Jinghe completely unable to explain. Because he did not even consider this question. Because it was indeed so. For his homeland, why go to someone else's homeland? This did not make sense at all. What did going to someone else's homeland have to do with his own? Obviously, it had nothing to do with it. "Dad, you should know my personal position very well. I love my country, I also love you. I am also loyal to the emperor," Zhang Xiaxi said. "But I don't think that not daring to admit history is something glorious. In my eyes, that is a kind of cowardice." Zhang Jinghe had already raised his hand, but in the end, he did not slap her. He really did not have the courage to slap her. He did not know whether he should slap her or not. "Even if you hit me today, I can't deny it," Zhang Xiaxi said. "The truth is the truth. It is undeniable. I know. You are a person of principle," Zhang Jinghe said. "But shouldn't you think about our country? Sometimes, national interests are more important than anything else. This is not a matter of principle at all. Do you understand?" Zhang Xiaxi smiled. "Dad, I know. I am the future successor of the Sakura Group. But I have no interest in it at all. Do you understand how I feel?" "I don't understand," Zhang Jinghe said. "Your feelings can't represent the country. But is that Ebola virus weapon really that important to our country?" Zhang Xiaxi said. "If there is no Ebola virus weapon, what can we do? That idiot Abe has already forcefully passed the security law. Did he hear how many voices of opposition there were? That is their government's business. It has nothing to do with us. What the Sakura Group needs to do is to be loyal to the emperor and the government." Zhang Jinghe said. "We just need to execute it." Zhang Xiaxi said, "Don't you think that this is a historical atrocity? Abe III might want to wait for the people to forget their anger, but he doesn't know that the struggle has begun. Is this really right for Japan? Isn't the country chaotic enough? You are thinking too much." Zhang Jinghe shook his head. "Politics is not something we should consider participating in. Abe III forced the new security law to be passed to return Japan to the past. It will weaken our country's democracy." Zhang Xiaxi said, "Although the West agrees that we have a regular army, we should always be under a democratic regime. The current Japan can't be considered a democratic country at all." Zhang Jinghe was stunned. He never thought that his daughter would have so many thoughts. This was really inconceivable to him. All along, Zhang Jinghe thought that his daughter was just a girl who liked to race, just an ordinary girl who didn't want to ask about anything. Unexpectedly, the reason why his daughter refused to contact the Sakura Group was not that she didn't want to, but that she was against the Sakura Group's actions. The Sakura Group didn't have any thoughts, but the government she was loyal to did all kinds of things that she couldn't understand, which led to her rebellion. Zhang Xia she knew that since she couldn't change it, she could only use this method to express her opposition. This was the only thing she could do. But you were born in my family, Zhang Jinghei said. We have no other choice. Zhang Xia she nodded. I understand everything. I understand everything about the family. Then can you do it for the family? Since I can understand the family, why can't the family understand me? Zhang Xia she said. I think our relationship is mutual respect. Zhang Jinghei nodded. I understand. I won't say anything meaningless. Zhang Xia she said, I believe that they won't be able to escape Japan. Because this is our country. I believe that we will be the final winner. But I won't admit that this is the right thing to do. This is what I think. I understand. You can go, Zhang Jinghei said. Chapter 2449. CFAIs and Lin Guo had been discussing the issue of Zhang Xia. According to Lin Ji's understanding of Zhang Xia, he really found it hard to believe that she was the daughter of a right-wing organization. It was reasonable to say that Zhang Xia, who had lived in such an environment since she was young, should be full of ambition. However, she wasn't that kind of person. Some of the views she expressed in her conversation shocked Lin Guo. Lin Guo chatted with her for a long time and couldn't see the madness in her at all. Maybe she doesn't belong to the Sakura group at all. This was Lin Ji's current thought. CFAIs nodded and shook his head. Maybe that's the case, but it's also possible that she wants to show another side of herself to protect herself. Yeah, that's hard to say. Lin Guo said, then what should we do now? It's better to leave here. It's not safe to continue living here. CFAIs said, we have already issued a challenge to the Sakura group. After doing one thing tonight, we will leave Tokyo. I believe that the Sakura group will catch us tomorrow. Brother, are we really going to the Jingwa Ghost Society to play the word-carving game? Lin Guo said. That would be too exciting. CFAIs smiled slightly. Of course we are going. Since I have already said this to Zhang Kyohei, we have to do it. Otherwise, he will think that I am scared. Regarding this, Lin Guo was absolutely supportive. He had this idea for a long time. Going to that D*MN Ghost Society and wreaking havoc was one of his biggest wishes. Then, when are we going? It's still too early. We still have to wait a while. We can do whatever we want in the dead of night. CFAI said, besides, Zhang Kyohei and I agreed to meet at 3 in the morning. Lin Guo was startled. Won't that be a direct confrontation with them? Won't that be disadvantageous to us? Don't worry. Based on my understanding of Zhang Kyohei is definitely not a guy who will easily trust others. CFAI said, he will arrange for someone to go to Jingwa Ghost Society to see if we will go, but he will definitely not wait for us there at 3 in the morning. Lin Guo didn't understand. Why? He will think that I said that to trick him, to make him miss. CFAI smiled. He doesn't want to be tricked, so he won't go. Lin Guo gave him a thumbs up. Looks like you didn't spend so many years in Japan for nothing. You already know all the habits of the Japanese. Of course, CFAI said. Otherwise, wouldn't my years in Japan be meaningless? The Yasukuni Ghost Shrine was located in Kudoanzaka, Chiyoda District, Tokyo, Japan. It was built under the orders of Emperor Meiji to worship the soldiers and their families who died in battle for Japan since the Meiji Restoration era. Most of them were Japanese soldiers who died in the Huaxia War of Resistance against Japan and the Pacific War, as well as the 30,000 Takasago Volunteer Army. Before the end of World War II, the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine had been specially managed by the Japanese military. It was the symbol of the country's Shinto. After World War II, it followed the principle of the separation of church and state in the post-war constitution and was reorganized as a religious corporation. Over the years, Visiting the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine had become a personal show for some Japanese politicians to win over voters and display their right-wing ideology. The several visits by Japanese politicians destroyed the relationship between Japan and Huaxia and other Asian countries. Everyone was familiar with Koinu Ichiro and Abe San, who liked to go to the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine for a personal show. In fact, they couldn't be blamed. They didn't have any good methods to win over voters. They could only rely on this kind of show to promote themselves. To put it bluntly, they were no different from actors. Those who didn't have real talent in the entertainment industry liked to do things to increase their exposure. Japanese politicians were the same. They didn't have any real ability and could only rely on this kind of method to show their faces and win attention. Politicians who really had the ability to protect the interests of the country and the surrounding international relations wouldn't use this kind of method to win attention. This could also be used in the entertainment industry. Who had heard of those national treasures and first-tier artists who used bad methods to gain attention? Those who used scandals, relationships, and other messy news to gain attention were often those who didn't have real talent. They relied on their faces, their figures, and their coquettishness. These kinds of messy people would use messy methods to gain attention. The same was true for Japanese politicians. When a person was reduced to visiting the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine to gain attention, he was destined to be a failed politician. If it weren't for his strong family connections, this kind of person would simply be trash. Although this Yasukuni Ghost Shrine was said to be so mysterious by the Japanese, especially by the Japanese politicians, it was actually not something that could be shown on the stage. To be honest, this place could really be burned down. It wasn't that CFAIs didn't have such thoughts, but he knew that there was no point in doing so. Instead, it would give those right-wing forces more reasons to gain the support of more ignorant people. The scariest thing about people was ignorance. In fact, many people didn't even know what the Japanese right wing really wanted. They wanted to revive imperialism. They wanted to revive those things that they couldn't do. CFAIs had been playing with his heart all these years, and the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine was a very good place. Many of the people that CFAIs destroyed were chosen from this place. This was because those who went in and out of the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine were all right-wingers. Otherwise, who would kneel in front of a group of war criminals? Not all Japanese were right-wingers. Many of them didn't support the war, and many of them had a deep understanding of the historical mistakes. Many of them admitted their mistakes. These people hated war because war didn't only bring harm to other countries, it also brought harm to their own country. Many people's families were torn apart because of war, and many people lost everything because of war. In order to comfort the soldiers, how many Japanese women were unwillingly brought out to do the work of comforting the soldiers of the empire? This was all evil. People who saw evil clearly would never support the right wing. Originally, in the previous election, Abe III should have stepped down, but he didn't. This was enough to prove the strength of this family. It also proved the spread of right-wing ideology in Japan. If this situation was not stopped, it was likely that there would be an even greater danger and crisis. CFAIs and Lin Gu arrived at the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine at 3 a.m. sharp. The night was dark and the wind was strong. This place gave them too much space to operate. Lin Gu entered the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine for the first time under CFAI's lead. When he saw the stone tablet carved with words, he instantly had a strong urge to pee. "Brother, can I relieve myself there? I can't hold it in anymore." Lin Gu couldn't wait to leave his mark in this place. "Of course," CFAI said, "the patrolling people won't come over at this time. Don't worry and go take care of your personal matters." Lin Gu laughed. "What about you? Aren't you going to take care of yourself?" "I have something I want to do," CFAI said. Although this kind of behavior is a reflection of our Huaxia people's lack of quality, it's limited to cultural relics and historical sites. It shouldn't be considered lacking in quality to use it here. Saying that, CFAIs picked up the dagger in his hand. As he muttered to himself, he carved a line of words in Japanese on the stone tablet carved with the words, Yasukuni Ghost Shrine. Jangye Kyohei, here. These few words were beautifully written. After Lin Gu went to the toilet, he couldn't help but sigh when he saw these words. This way, he could leave a deeper mark. His urine, after 2 rains, probably wouldn't be smelled anymore. You're preparing to make Jongye Kyohei go crazy. Lin-gu said, even if he uses his toes to think, he'll know that we did it. Who cares? Since the Sakura group is loyal to the government and the emperor, then let his name stay here to protect the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine. That's his honor. CFAI said, I believe that in his life, he hopes that his name can live and die with the Yasukuni Ghost Shrine. Lin-gu shrugged his shoulders. Then we're giving him an honor? He should thank us. Let's go. The patrolling team will be here soon. CFAI said, I don't want to waste time with them. The 2 figures quickly disappeared into the night. Chapter 2450. Tokyo was in complete chaos. Starting at 5 in the morning, the surroundings of the Yasukuni Shrine were filled with Japanese police. Everyone's faces were filled with shock and amazement. That's right, no one dared to believe that such a line of words was carved on the Yasukuni Shrine's stone tablet. Kyohei Jongye, I was here. This was simply the greatest humiliation to the Shinto. Everyone knew that Kyohei Jongye of the Sakura group respected the Shinto. It would be a huge joke to say that he would be disrespectful to the shrine. Kyohei Jongye also received the notice immediately. After he arrived, his mind was immediately occupied by CFAI's. That's right, it must be him. That young man had actually done such a disgraceful thing. He had actually appeared here and used his own method to leave behind his imprint. Humiliation. This kind of humiliation was simply unacceptable to Kyohei Jongye. According to what he should do, facing this kind of humiliation, he should commit seppuku. But he couldn't do that. There were still too many things he hadn't done. He couldn't do that. Even if he wanted to commit seppuku to face his humiliation, he should finish what he should do and kill the people he should kill. At that time, he would commit seppuku as an apology. Team leader Jongye, who exactly did you meet? This is too much. I believe that team leader Jongye will find a way to deal with it, right? This matter had already alarmed the people from the Japanese Security Bureau. Now, the people from the Security Bureau threw these words in front of Kyohei Jongye just to make him feel more relaxed. Kyohei Jongye's eyes were cold and dull. I don't need to trouble you to remind me. I will naturally deal with what I should do myself. Then we'll wait for the good news. The people from the Security Bureau obviously didn't want to get involved in this matter, so their attitude was quite firm. Kyohei Jongye nodded. He knew that he shouldn't think too much about other things. The most important thing now was to capture the guy who carved the words and let the person who did the deed bear the consequences of the rest. In this country that believed in Shinto, carving words on the stone tablet was definitely the greatest disrespect. Kyohei Jongye didn't dare to believe that CFAI's really did that. However, CFAI's did something that he didn't dare to believe. She actually took the initiative to call him, which made Kyohei Jongye even more shocked. He was just about to look for him, but he didn't expect him to call at this time. Group leader Zhang Yi, I believe you have seen my masterpiece. How is it? The calligraphy is not bad, right? CFAI's was very relaxed. I'm very grateful to you for giving me such an opportunity to show off my talent. Kyohei Jongye gritted his teeth and said, have you thought about the consequences of your actions? Engraving is the result of your inability to take responsibility. Leader Zhang Yi, I told you that I would go at 3 o'clock, but you didn't come to see me at that time. CFAI's was very relaxed. So you can't blame me. I don't like to talk nonsense with people. Kyohei Jongye said seriously, if you feel that you have the strength to play with me, Jongye doesn't mind playing with you to the end. CFAI's was stunned. Why did these words sound so familiar? I will make you understand that I never speak empty words. Don't let me find you in Tokyo. Kyohei Jongye's hatred for CFAI's was bone deep. I am the master of Tokyo. I have 100 ways to make you unable to stay there. But you can't do anything. Damn, CFAI said, Group leader Zhang Ye's learning ability is quite strong. Do you often go on Hua Xia's website? Where did you learn so many words? What Zhang Yi likes the most is to attack those who think they have outstanding ability. Kyohei Zhang Ye said, "You better take the initiative to admit your guilt, understand?" "I really don't understand." Xie Fei Eyes shook his head. "You can continue to do whatever you want, but your days won't be comfortable. Hee, you just have to remember that my name is Kyohei Zhang Ye. Hee, it's fine. You can call all the Japanese men you know. I don't mind playing with you. If I win, you will obediently get out of Tokyo. Don't go too far." Kyohei Zhang Ye said, "I still say the same thing. I don't mind playing with you." Xie Fei Eyes was speechless. "You really pay attention to Hua Xia's internet celebrities? People have to do things. Don't be too picky." Kyohei Zhang Ye said, "If I take the initiative to apologize to you, will you, Zhang Yi, reward me handsomely?" Xie Fei Eyes said, "This is a joke that we Huaxia have played for a long time. You still think it's new? Very good. Group leader Zhang Yi, you think you are Yi Liangchen." Kyohei Zhang Ye was stunned. He did not understand what Xie Fei Eyes meant. Xie Fei Eyes sneered, "If you are Yi Liangchen, then I am Zhao Riqian. I have helpers by my side, Shenyuan Long Outyen and Fu Erkong. Do you dare to fight with me?" Although Kyohei Zhang Ye could plagiarize some Hua Xia's Chinese, he did not understand the culture of Hua Xia's netizens. He did not know who Zhao Riqian was, nor did he know what Yi Liangchen did. He also did not understand the huge background behind the domineering name Shenyuan Long Outyen. The only thing Kyohei Zhang Ye knew was Fu Erkong. That was a character in a TV series. However, he really did not understand how the character in a TV series had anything to do with reality. "I will definitely find you. Don't force me to use my strength in Tokyo. I don't want to cause a bloodbath." Kyohei Zhang Ye's words were really like Yi Liangchen's. However, Xie Fei Eyes did not fall for it at all. "Let me tell you. Even if 3 generations of your family worked in the military and your grandfather participated in the research of the atomic bomb, I will not listen to you. If you have the guts, come and find me. There is no need to talk to me. I will give you a week." When Kyohei Zhang Ye heard this, he actually became the other party threatening him. "If you can't find me in a week, don't blame me for talking to you," Xie Fei Eyes said. Xie Fei Eyes said, "If I go and talk to you, it won't be as simple as just engraving words." "I said, I don't accept threats," Kyohei Zhang Ye said. "Don't say it as if I will accept it," Xie Fei Eyes said. "Are you really possessed by Yi Liangchen? Is there any point in talking to me?" Team leader Kyohei Zhang Ye, "You can talk to me when you can find me." Xie Fei Eyes hung up the phone. Kyohei Zhang Ye's face was gloomy. The gloominess made the people around him feel a chill down their spines. It had been a long time since they saw team leader Kyohei Zhang Ye's expression. They all knew that team leader Kyohei Zhang Ye was really angry this time. Even an ordinary person would not accept being humiliated in front of their own home, right? Besides, who was Kyohei Zhang Ye? The leader of the Sakura group, the symbol of the Sakura group, was humiliated just like that. "I will let you know what regret is. I will definitely let you know what regret is." Kyohei Zhang Ye was so angry that he flipped everything on the table to the ground. His anger seemed to have sent a signal to his subordinates. After venting for a while, Kyohei Zhang Ye finally calmed down. "From now on, put down everything. Everyone, focus on Xie Fei Eyes. He must die in Japan. He must die in front of me." Kyohei Zhang Ye said, "He humiliated Shinto, which is equivalent to humiliating all Japanese. He humiliated the emperor of our empire. We must kill him." "Yes. Team leader, we will do our best." Although the entire Sakura group had given him a guarantee, Kyohei Zhang Ye still could not relax. If he used all his strength to do this, it would be equivalent to temporarily giving up on Hua Xia's plan. He had already invested so much in Huaxia, and the repeated failures were too much for him to bear. If in the end, he could only face the government and the emperor with failure, where would he put his face? The reason why the Sakura group could receive so much respect in Japan was because everyone knew that there was nothing they could not do. There was no trouble or problem that they could not solve. That was why they had such a high social status. When this social status became a bubble one day, who would care about the Sakura group? Who would respect the Sakura group? This was something that Kyohei Jongye had to consider. He could not let the Sakura group slowly become unimportant like the emperor and fade out of people's sight. Chapter 2451. Zhang Zishue's first morning as an extra was very busy. She didn't even have time to put on makeup before she rushed out of bed. She followed the group of extras to the entrance of the commune next to the film city. Although it was only 5 in the morning, the place was already filled with men and women. Everyone had yawns on their faces. Because it was a little cold in the morning, some people kept sneezing. Zhang Zishue and the other girls stood together. Just like that, they waited in boredom. Half an hour passed, but still, nothing happened. As a newcomer, Zhang Zishue couldn't sit still anymore. She asked the girl next to her, "It's already 5:30. Why hasn't the director come yet? You're new here." The girl looked much calmer. "We have to come at 5 p.m., but that doesn't mean the crew has to come at 5 p.m. The earliest they can come is 5 p.m., and the later they can come at 6 p.m. This is all uncertain, it's not a fixed time." Zhang Zishue nodded. So that was the case. It seemed that opportunities were reserved for the hardworking. Even if there was only a glimmer of hope, the extras had to get up at 5 to wait. No crew would tell them what time to come tomorrow. No one would worry about whether they could sleep well. This was the reality. "What's your name?" the girl said to Zhang Zishue. "I'm Lu Bing, from Guangshan." "I'm Zhang Zishue, from Yanjing." Zhang Zishue smiled. "Nice to meet you. I'm new here. If there's anything I don't understand, please enlighten me. Why do people from Yanjing come to Qingdao? Is it harder to find a job in Yanjing Circle?" Lu Bing was startled. "I thought I've been here for a year and have gained some experience. I thought I'd want to go to Yanjing Circle." Zhang Zishue shook her head. "Yanjing might be harder. At least there's Sky Entertainment here. Once I'm recognized by Sky Entertainment's chairman Su, I'll have a chance." Lu Bing couldn't help but laugh when she heard Zhang Zishue's words. "Beauty, I don't think you're from an ordinary family. Of course, you're also very pretty. You're so pretty even without makeup. You should be confident." Zhang Zishue couldn't help but laugh. "But..." Lu Bing's tone changed. "Chairman Su of Sky Entertainment Group has great beauties like Ruan Qingshuang and Zhuo Meiyan by his side. Cho Yun, who is always by his side, is also a great beauty. Even the A-list celebrities in Sky Entertainment Group didn't have a chance. Ling Jiling, Fan Bing, and the others couldn't even enter Mr. Su's eyes. Do you really think you have a chance?" Zhang Zishue was stunned. Su Yun's standards are so high? Hearing Zhang Zishue call Mr. Su by his name, Lu Bing's face turned ugly. "You better watch your words. Don't get yourself into trouble because of your blabbering." "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." Only then did Zhang Zishue realize Su Yun's status and prestige in this circle. "I'm telling you, Chairman Su is one of the few righteous people in this circle," Lu Bing said. "All the artists in Sky Entertainment Group know his temper. I heard that there was once a newcomer, Wang Xinyu, who wanted to get close to Su Yun. She wanted to use this method to get to the top. However, she was rejected by Chairman Su." Zhang Zishue's mouth dropped open. She didn't think there would be such a thing. Then what happened? Then, you can imagine the result. Think about it. What did Chairman Zhua and Chairman Ruan of Sky Entertainment Group think of Chairman Su? Of course, they wouldn't allow such a person to stay in Sky Entertainment. Lu Bing said. Of course, they directly banned him. Wang Xinyu was forced to terminate her contract. Zhang Zishue was intrigued by this gossip. There were so many things going on in this circle. It's not easy to survive in this circle. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with those things. Lu Bing said. After Wang Xinyu left Sky Entertainment, she started to use all kinds of scandals to create hype. Although she has a bit of fame, she can never become a respected artist. She can only be called AB*TCH. Hearing their conversation, someone beside them couldn't help but interrupt. So what if she's AB*TCH? As long as she's famous, it's fine. However, she's much better off than staying in Sky Entertainment and being banned. It doesn't matter why people pay attention to her. Whether it's because of the scandal, because of the flesh, or because of dirty thoughts, as long as there are enough people paying attention and she's famous enough, it's fine. The future of being famous is different. So what if she doesn't want this kind of fame? Lu Bing didn't seem to care about this. However, the girl who interrupted said, "She's still much better than you." This girl was the one who took the initiative to find the bearded man last night. The girl who was tricked by the man with the cape. In her world, as long as she could become famous, she could do anything. She didn't care what kind of celebrity she became. As long as she was famous enough, she didn't care if people scolded her. So what if she had a beautiful background? So what if she cheated on someone? So what if she was exposed? As long as she wanted to become famous, even if the news was fake, she would gladly accept it. Perhaps this was how strange this society was. If a good-looking girl with a great figure wanted to become famous, no one would look at her with positive energy like sending an old lady across the road. People like to see scandals, dirty things. It was as if seeing those things could prove that she was a white lotus that could emerge from the mud untainted. Therefore, if she wanted to become famous quickly, she could only use this method. However, this method would only last for a short time. There were many stars who completely faded out of the entertainment industry. I don't want to become that kind of person at all. Lu Bing said. That kind of bad reputation won't only affect you. Even your family will be implicated. In the end, they will also be affected because of this kind of thing. You're thinking too much. As long as you're famous and have money, nothing will be a problem. The girl said. No matter how many scandals you have, as long as you're famous enough, you can become a goddess in everyone's eyes. Even if it's just a goddess that makes people want to sleep with you, you can still find the man you want. You can still give your parents a good enough life. Lu Bing said, our values are different. Newbie, you won't have a chance to rise if you learn from her. The girl said and turned to leave. It seemed like she didn't want to continue standing with them. Jiang Zixue admired the girl who had that kind of thinking. She was indeed willing to go all out. She was suitable for this industry that could easily dye people black. She's been cheated more than once. Lu Bing said, I advise you to stay away from her. Who knows how many small special agents have used the excuse of getting her to sleep with them? Who knows how many assistant directors have patronized her? Jiang Zixue's expression was still very surprised. After all, that girl looked so young, not even 20 years old. Her values are completely different from mine, Lu Bing said. I believe that sooner or later, she will be appreciated by the director with her acting skills. What about her? Jiang Zixue asked curiously. She believes that sooner or later, she will be able to sleep with a director who is willing to make her the female lead. Lu Bing said, she said that acting skills aren't needed at all. As long as the director says you can do it, then you can do it. Jiang Zixue didn't agree. She said that those idol dramas don't require any acting skills at all. Lu Bing said, no matter how exaggerated or fake the performance, as long as the director says it's okay, then it's okay. So she believes that she can sleep her way into the future. Jiang Zixue shook her head helplessly. She's still so young. Why does she have to be like this? She still has a long way to go. I'm afraid that her future won't be bright, Lu Bing said. I heard that she has already had 4 abortions. Her friends said that the doctor has already warned her. If she continues to have abortions, perhaps she won't be qualified to be a mother anymore. Was this industry really that dark? Jiang Zixue thought to herself. But looking at Lu Bing, She could tell herself that there was still a positive energy in this industry. Not everyone was willing to dirty themselves. At that moment, a van suddenly drove over. A few people got out of the van. A young assistant director wearing a hat and vest got out. All the extras waiting at the entrance of the commune swarmed over. Chapter 2452. Get a few good-looking ones. You. Come here. You go to the back. We'll talk about it next time. The young assistant director started to pick the actors as soon as he got off the car. He kept looking around the crowd and called out to those who were suitable. Those who were not suitable would be rejected even if they tried to squeeze through. Of course, the people he chose would have a chance to show their faces. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chosen their image. Soon, the young assistant director picked a few people to get on the car and said to the others, "There will be a bus with 80 people coming from behind. 80 people will act as the National Army and the Japanese soldiers. Those who think they are fit and can run can get on the bus themselves. This is a tough scene. It will take a few days to shoot. Those who can't stand it, don't come." Hearing that there was still a chance, hope burned in the disappointed crowd again. However, it wasn't easy to get 80 extras with so many people. The ratio was too small. "Brother, you came to pick the actors himself. I have a few brothers here who haven't been on film for a few days. Can you bring a few of them?" Someone who was familiar with the young assistant director appeared. They didn't hide their relationship. The young assistant director nodded. "How about this? Keep an eye on them later. Bring 80 of them. Don't let them get on the bus. I still have something to do. I have to go back to the set first. I need to talk to these people in the bus." "Okay. Don't worry about me here." The moment he finished speaking, the people around him started to give him cigarettes and flatter him. After all, it would take a few days. Once they were chosen, it meant that they didn't need to do anything else for the next few days. Just as the young assistant director called Brother Yu was about to leave, he accidentally saw Jiang Zishue. He was surprised that there would be someone wearing Versace's new fashion this year among the extras. Because he had given it to his girlfriend before, he could tell at a glance that it wasn't a fake. It was the real deal. "You come here." Assistant Director Yu shouted to Jiang Zishue. However, a newcomer like Jiang Zishue didn't know anything. She thought that the assistant director was talking to someone else. Fortunately, Lu Bing beside her reminded her, "He's talking to you." Only then did Jiang Zishue come to a realization. She looked at the assistant director blankly. "Me? Yes, you. A newbie, right? You have a good image. Come and get in the car. I'll arrange for you to play the role of a war nurse. You should be able to memorize a few lines." Assistant Director Yu said. The crowd was filled with envy. A character with lines would definitely have to show their faces. As long as they performed well, they might even be able to stay in the cast and film. Sure. Of course, Jiang Zishue wouldn't refuse a role that fell from the sky. "Then get in the car." Assistant Director Yu said. "Can she come with me? I think she has a good image." Jiang Zishue held Lu Bing's hand. "Can we go together?" Lu Bing looked at Jiang Zishue in surprise. This newcomer really didn't know the rules. Who did she think she was? He actually dared to pick his own people. Good. Get in the car. Quick, we have to go. Assistant Director Yu agreed. Lu Bing was really flattered. She hurriedly urged Jiang Zishue to get into the minivan. After the two of them got into the minivan, it was already very crowded. The assistant director quickly drove to the filming location of the film studio. Assistant Director Yu had already started talking in the car. "You've filmed war dramas before, right? Do you know what the role of a war nurse is?" "I haven't filmed it before, but I know," Jiang Zishue said. "I've watched dramas before." "That's good. Let me tell you. In a while, the two of you will be like this. One on the left and one on the right of the bed. For example, this is the bed. Assistant Director Yu started talking about the scene. The main character is on the bed. He's very weak and is about to die. Then, on the left you will give blood to him. On the right, you will treat his wounds. Jiang Zishue and Lu Bing quickly nodded. Then, there will be an explosion. The bomb will fall on the medical team. Assistant Director Yu pointed at Lu Bing and said, "You will jump onto the main character and use your life to protect him. Then, we can wrap up." Although the role would die in a while, Lu Bing was still very excited. After all, she could directly interact with the main character. "Then, it's your turn." Assistant Director Yu continued to talk to Jiang Zishue. "You will grit your teeth and save the main character. That's the scene. Understand?" "Understood," Lu Bing said excitedly. Jiang Zishue said, "Then, can I save her after saving the main character? After all, I'm a doctor." "You're really a newcomer who hasn't filmed a scene before, right?" Assistant Director Yu looked at Jiang Zishue and said. Lu Bing quickly signaled Jiang Zishue to stop talking nonsense. Assistant Director Yu saw that Lu Bing had some experience, so he said, "Tell her the rules." Then he went to tell the others about the scene. Lu Bing whispered in Jiang Zishue's ear, "Don't say your thoughts in front of the director. Also, don't talk to the other actors. The director's nerves are very sensitive. Also, don't add lines casually. Unless you can get to the level of a special agent, then you won't be scolded by the director. Otherwise, you'll definitely be scolded to death." Jiang Zishue stuck out her tongue. "I just think that it will be more realistic. I'm a doctor. I can't just save the main character and ignore my colleagues." Hearing Jiang Zishue's stubbornness, Assistant Director Yu said again, "Who do you think you are? How long do you think the camera will be on you?" Jiang Zishue didn't say anything this time. She knew that she would get into trouble if she spoke carelessly. "Let me tell you, the actors I want have to obey me. If you have too many ideas of your own, you can leave now," Assistant Director Yu said. No one in the car dared to say no. Each one was more cooperative than the other. They were very obedient. "Okay, since you have no problems, then don't disappoint me," Assistant Director Yu said. "This scene still needs to be filmed for a week. At least, if you perform well, there won't be any problems for a week." "Then won't she die after saving the main character?" Jiang Zishue didn't understand. "She's in a 9-camera position. Her face won't be captured. So, even if she dies, she can continue filming." Assistant Director Yu said, "Newcomer, I think you need to study before you start filming." Jiang Zishue stuck out her tongue. She didn't want to come. It was him who chose her. Now, there were so many problems. She was really speechless. "Don't talk so much. Listen more and learn from the director," Lu Bing hurriedly said to Jiang Zishue. Although she was a little disappointed that the camera couldn't capture her face, this was still a rare opportunity. She must seize it. Jiang Zishue nodded. Although Lu Bing was just an extra, she was still a senior to her. She knew a lot of things that she didn't understand. This was also the reason why Jiang Zishue proposed to bring Lu Bing along. She felt that Lu Bing's mindset was rare in the entertainment industry. "You all have to seize the opportunity. I chose you because you have good images," Assistant Director Yu said. "Especially you, a newcomer who has never acted before. Don't disappoint me and the director. Otherwise, the opportunity won't fall to you in the future." "I understand." Jiang Zishue nodded. She was very excited to have such an opportunity. At least, it was not arranged by Su Yun. She fought for it with her own image. The van soon took Jiang Zishue to the set. After arriving, she realized that the conditions of filming were really difficult. Even if she changed clothes, she had to change in a very simple cloth shed. Moreover, the clothes of the crew were really a little shabby. It was like the wedding clothes in the wedding dress shop. They looked good, but the quality of the cloth and the quality were really bad. Although it was early in the morning, the crew was already preparing for all kinds of work. The director didn't seem to be the kind of person who had a good temper. From time to time, he would yell at the staff. To be honest, the atmosphere made Jiang Zishue feel quite nervous. About an hour later, the shooting began. The scene was dusty. Jiang Zishue felt quite helpless. In her situation, she would have no problem acting in an idol drama or something, but she unexpectedly had to act in a war drama. Haha, God really arranged it. But since it was the first scene in her life, Jiang Zishue didn't want to have any regrets. Even if it was just 2 simple lines, she still wanted to do her best. Chapter 2453. Yu Meiren had already been in Jiangnan Shao Tan Town for a few days, but she still hadn't seen the country's most authoritative bacteriologist, Mr. Gao Mingwei. Perhaps Mr. Gao was really old and didn't have much energy left. Or maybe Mr. Gao was really like the rumors, suffering from depression and didn't want to see people. Of course, it could also be that Mr. Gao simply didn't want to see people. So Yu Meiren still hadn't received permission. Isn't this Gao Mingwei thinking too highly of himself? We've already shown so much sincerity, and he's still putting on airs? Qian Feng had already lost all patience. He really didn't know why they had to keep wasting time like this. Why not just barge in and bring him back to Yanjing? He didn't believe that if he didn't listen to the soft approach, he would use the hard approach. This Gao Mingwei couldn't possibly not listen to both, right? Then he really was an immortal. We can't, Mr. Gao is an authoritative figure, we can't be disrespectful to him. Yu Meiren said, although he only taught me for less than a month, our Hua Xia is very particular about etiquette, a teacher for a day, a father for life. Han Zhan also nodded, expressing that he couldn't do anything about it. Yes, the chief also said that we must be respectful to Mr. Gao, we can't be violent. I also don't want to be violent. I also know that when he came to teach in our Dragon Brigade, we even lined up to welcome him. Qian Feng said, but how many days have we been in Shao Tan Town? They don't even let us in. Yu Meiren indicated for Qian Feng to be more patient. Maybe Mr. Gao wants to see how sincere we are? Forget it, Liu Bei only visited him 3 times to invite Mr. Wulong and Zhuge Liang. Since we came here, we've already visited him at least 5 times, right? Qian Feng said, every time we don't even show our faces, we really. That's enough. Don't talk too much. Han Zhan said, if 5 times doesn't work, we'll try 6 times. If 6 times doesn't work, we'll try 7 times. I believe that Mr. Gao will be moved by us sooner or later. But we can't waste all our time here. Qian Feng shook his head helplessly. Every time we go, we bring so many things, but he leaves them all behind. Everyone says that you have to take advantage of others. In the end, this Gao Mingwei is really generous. He accepted everything but didn't do anything for us. Yu Meiren smiled and said, isn't it just a little something? It's just a token of our sincerity. Even if I'm only here to see him and not to ask for his help, it's still a token of my sincerity. That top-grade caterpillar fungus, that 1,000-year-old Chongbai mountain ginseng, that. I won't say any more, that's all money. Qian Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yu Meiren smiled and said, I'll reimburse you when we get back. Don't feel bad. If he really agrees to help us solve the problem, I won't feel bad no matter how much we spend. I'm just worried that this money is like throwing meat buns at a dog. It's gone without a return, Qian Feng said. Han Zhan glared at him and said, you better watch your mouth. If Mr. Gao hears this, even if you put a mountain of gold and silver in front of him, he definitely won't care about us. He won't care about us whether we say it or not. Qian Feng said, he has no intention of doing anything for us at all. Can't you guys see that? Yu Meiren suddenly said, just now, you said that Mr. Gao accepted everything but didn't do anything for us. Then tell me, if we invite him out for a meal, will he agree? It's hard to say. Han Zhan shook his head. Qian Feng said with certainty, he will definitely agree, but this meal will be a free meal. Then let's invite him out for a meal. Yu Meiren said, as long as we can see him, it means that we still have a chance. But will he come? Han Zhan was a little uncertain. He has no intention of seeing us at all. There's no reason for him not to eat the fat meat that is sent to his mouth. Qian Feng said, I dare to bet that he will agree. Whether he agrees or not, we have to work hard. I believe that as long as we work hard, there will be results. Yu Meiren still didn't give up hope. She believed that it would be possible. Qian Feng didn't have much hope for this. This meal was a free meal. Then let's go and invite him now. If Mr. Gao agrees, then it means that there is a chance. If he doesn't agree, then I'm afraid there is really no hope. Han Zhan said, let's do our best. Qian Feng took a deep breath. Let's go. We have to go to his door and pretend to be his grandson again. When you go to Mr. Gao's house, don't have this attitude. Han Zhan said, if he really wants to help us solve the problem, seeing your attitude will make things difficult for us. Every time I go, I'm like his grandson. Qian Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is it my fault? After the three of them decided, they immediately went to buy some things and went to his house again. The one who opened the door was still Gao Mingwei's grandson, Gao Shan. When he saw the three of them, he was helpless. Why is it you guys again? Didn't I tell you very clearly that my grandfather won't ask about anything anymore? He just wants to cultivate his body and mind and relax. No, we don't have any other intentions. We just came to see Mr. Gao. Qian Feng said, we just brought some things to see him. Gao Shan frowned and looked at the bags in their hands. They were indeed carrying all kinds of nutrition and tonics. Okay, come in first. Qian Feng turned his head and made an expression at Yu Meiren and Han Zhan. He thought, see, this is a guy who opens the door when he sees something. As long as you don't come empty-handed, he will invite you in. However, Gao Mingwei would never come out to meet people. It was his grandson who was dealing with them. The three of them brought the things to the living room and sat down. Gao Shan didn't prepare any tea for them, nor did he treat them as VIP guests. If you are still here for that matter, then please go back. My grandfather won't see you. Qian Feng thought, I just put down the things, and he immediately turned hostile. This is too realistic. Isn't he turning hostile too quickly? No, we really don't have any other intentions this time. Han Zhan said, we just want to invite Mr. Gao to have a meal. Meal? Gao Shan was stunned. What meal? Yu Meiren said, as Mr. Gao's student, I want to invite my teacher to a meal. Really, there's no other intention. It's just an ordinary meal. I want to see my teacher and see if he is well. Gao Shan looked at Yu Meiren up and down. You say, my grandfather has so many students. If no matter who invites him to a meal, he will go. Then, won't he spend the rest of his life at the dining table? This is different. Haha, everyone can have a normal meal together and get to know each other better. How good is that? Qian Feng said, I believe that Mr. Gao will definitely like this atmosphere. I'm sorry. Forget about the normal meal. My grandfather is very particular about eating. Gao Shan said, he goes out to eat and only eats the dishes of one restaurant. If you can book a place, then maybe he can consider it. As soon as she heard that there was hope, Yu Meiren immediately became excited. Where is the place? I will arrange it now. Don't worry. Gao Shan said, that place is not necessarily a place where you can book even if you have money. When you can settle it, it's not too late to come again. After that, Gao Shan went back to the sofa directly. He looked like he didn't want to see them off. This is it? Qian Feng said, then at least tell us where it is, right? It's a small Xiaotan town. It should be very easy to inquire about that place. Gao Shan said, it depends on your sincerity. Qian Feng really wanted to fall out with him. If it weren't for the presence of Beauty Yu and Han Zhan, he would have shed all pretense of cordiality with Gao Shan long ago. He always had a fearless expression and didn't put them in his eyes at all. F*CK. I'm here to invite your grandfather, not you. Is it interesting to put on such a big show and pretend to be realistic? Then, we will leave first. Maren finished and got up. Since they wanted sincerity, then she would give them sincerity. She would give them enough sincerity. Chapter 24:54. The three of them came out of the Gao residence again. Gao Mingwei was still nowhere to be seen, but his grandson Gao Shan's attitude was getting bigger and bigger. It was as if he was saying, "If you want to see my grandpa, let me have some fun first." Qian Feng couldn't take it anymore. "This is the last time I'm acting like a grandson. If it's going to be like this, I won't come here again. If you fool us again, I'm going to use force. We've already endured until now. We can't let it go to waste." Han Zhan said. "Let's do as we're told. Where are we going to find the restaurant he mentioned? There's so much to pay attention to when eating here." Qian Feng suppressed his anger. "Don't even find the restaurant. Then we'll really cry." Maren said, "No, we can definitely find it. We just have to ask around." After 2 hours of asking around, they got different answers. Some said it was an ecological park. The food was not only expensive, but it was always full. Sometimes they had to book 2 days in advance. Some said it was a big restaurant opened by a street secretary in Xiaotan town. It was called the International Hotel. The name was domineering enough. Although the food was not good, there were still a lot of people who wanted to go there. The name of the restaurant was very important. Then there were people who said it was a hidden farmhouse. They said they were eating farmhouse food, but it was actually all ginseng and seafood. A simple white tofu dish was sold for thousands because the tofu inside was hollowed out and filled with sea cucumber, abalone, deer antler, and bear paw. Because of the strict supervision of the Commission for Discipline Inspection, no one dared to go to a big restaurant to eat and drink. Instead, they went to a farmhouse. The place was hidden, and they ate even more happily. It was easy to spend tens of thousands for a meal. After all, Xiaotan town was a small place. The sky was high and the emperor was far away. Not many people knew how corrupt their little officials were. In this era where tigers and flies were killed together, there was still a lot of flies. They thought that the 10 million yuan they were greedy for was nothing at all, so they didn't have to worry about people attacking them. They also didn't think that a meal that cost tens of thousands would cause a big commotion. After all, the truly extravagant meal was more than what they had in 3 to 5 years. Obviously, they quickly realized that the places they were inquiring about were definitely not the same. A place that even ordinary people knew about was obviously not good enough. What Takagi meant was that that place was not a place that just anyone could go to even if they had money. Just as they were discussing by the roadside, a middle-aged man who was passing by them suddenly stopped in his tracks. The three of them looked at him warily, but the middle-aged man mysteriously opened his mouth and said, "Are you looking for a special place to eat? I can tell you that I know." "You know? Tell me," Qian Feng said. "I'm paying for this information," the abject middle-aged man said. "If you want to know, you have to show some sincerity." Qian Feng looked up and down at the middle-aged man. "Do you really think I'm an idiot who can be easily fooled by you? Look at you. There's a saying from our ancestors, you can't judge a book by its cover." The dejected middle-aged man said, "If you don't believe me, then forget it. Just take it that we are not fated to be together. Goodbye. Tell us your conditions." "Beauty," you suddenly said, "what do you need before you're willing to tell us?" "You believe this?" "Don't," Qian Feng said. Maren raised her hand and signaled to Qian Feng. "What our ancestors said can't be wrong. You can't judge a book by its cover." The dejected middle-aged man gave her a thumbs up. "Girl, you and I are more fated to be together." "Then I'll tell you. My conditions are actually very simple. 1,000 yuan. 1,000 yuan? Before Maren could speak, Han Zhan said, "Aren't you asking for too much?" "I'm telling you, this is the information age. Information is the most valuable thing," the dejected middle-aged man said. And this information is definitely worth 1,000 yuan. Moreover, if you can't even bear to pay 1,000 yuan, then just don't go. People who can afford to go to that kind of place don't care about 1,000 yuan at all. Yu Meiren said, 1,000 yuan is 1,000 yuan. I promise you. You're trying to find a doctor when you're sick. Han Zhan said, how do we know if this person is a liar? If he is, then we're out of luck. Yu Meiren will try anything now. Otherwise, what else can she do? Forget it. Han Zhan was helpless. He could only take out 1,000 yuan and give it to the dejected middle-aged man. He warned him, your information better be meaningful. If it's meaningless, then don't blame me for being hostile. The dejected middle-aged man accepted the money, smiled, and stuffed it into his pocket. It's a place where even if you have money, you may not be welcomed. It's called the Banyan Tower. Legend has it that in the feudal society, the emperor was rejected when he came to eat here. Banyan Tower? The three of them looked at each other. They had been in Xiaotan town for a few days, and they really hadn't seen such a big restaurant. This Banyan Tower is in the south of a village in the western suburbs. It's an ordinary place. However, as long as you go in and eat, you can feel the difference. The dejected middle-aged man said, thank you for your 1,000 yuan. Looking at the departing figure of the dejected middle-aged man, Qian Feng warned, if you trick us, I will definitely find you. How did I give you this 1,000 yuan? I will make you spit it out the same way. Although I'm dejected, I'm a businessman. I'm honest. The dejected middle-aged man said, I also had a banquet at the Banyan Tower that cost 1,000,000 yuan per table. Hey, I wish you good luck. A banquet that cost 1,000,000 yuan per table? F***ck. The three of them suddenly felt that the air was frozen. What kind of banquet could cost 1,000,000 yuan per table? It must be diamonds and gold. What a joke. I said that this person is unreliable. He can boast too much. Qian Feng said, I'm afraid our 1,000 yuan was wasted. Maybe he's a charlatan. No matter what, let's go and take a look. Yu Meiren said. This Banyan Tower did exist, and this dejected middle-aged man really didn't boast. Everything he said was true. The truth was like this, and the Banyan Tower was indeed such a precious place. The location of the Banyan Tower wasn't easy to book. The reason was very simple. It wasn't open every day. They were only open on good days. Be it the 8th day or the 18th day, they weren't open on normal days. It wasn't wrong to say that the place was expensive. It was indeed expensive, ridiculously expensive. However, it was expensive for a reason. Some of the precious ingredients used in the Banyan Tower were difficult to buy on the market. The small ones were homemade fermented wine, and the large ones were Japanese top-grade abalone that cost 20,000 yuan. The Luzon yellow gum shark fin king. Even the tea was at least 50 years old poo. Just a random 1,000-year-old Chongbai mountain ginseng stewed chicken would cost more than 100,000 yuan. The Banyan Tower had everything such as golden silk bloodbird's nest, pan-fried Australian sume steak, delicious Buddha jumps over the wall, and Chongda's specialty turtles. They weren't even considered expensive dishes in the Banyan Tower. Therefore, the food in this place couldn't be called food, but money. Those who came to eat here were either high-ranking officials or nobles. Generally, people with second-class social status wouldn't be served at all. It was because they weren't worthy of the expensive food here. Therefore, this place became the most desirable place for high-ranking officials and nobles because only by eating here could they distinguish themselves from ordinary people. In this society where people enjoyed life, why wouldn't the rich and powerful want to live a better life? This was a normal thing. When Yu Meiren and the others found the Banyan Tower, they were really shocked by the appearance of the Banyan Tower. This restaurant was probably more than 100 years old, right? It was too old, so old that it made people feel a little scared. Chapter 2455. Generally, this kind of old restaurant wouldn't be too bad. This Banyan Tower was founded in the early Ming dynasty. It had a history of hundreds of years. It was said that before the establishment of the Banyan Tower, the ancestors of the Banyan Tower had been doing the pasta business for decades. After Yu Marin walked in, no one came to greet her except for a bow at the door. She went straight to the front desk and asked, "Hello, I want to reserve a room here. I don't know if there are any vacant seats now?" The waiter at the front desk looked at Yu Marin with some surprise. This was the first person who walked to the front desk to order a meal in the 7 years he worked at the Banyan Tower. "Sorry, I don't accept reservations here." The waiter shook his head and said, "You should find another place." "What do you mean by you don't accept?" Chen Feng said, "That is to say, as long as we come, we can have a seat when we arrive?" "Is that right?" The waiter shook his head. "Of course not. There won't be any vacant seats here. I want to have lunch now. I really don't believe that all the seats are full at this time." Chen Feng said, "There must still be vacant seats. Will you serve me the dishes when I find them?" "No, no, no. All the seats are empty today. They are all reserved." The waiter said, "So, no matter when you come, we have to reserve the reserved seats for the guests who made the reservation." Chen Feng was unhappy. "You just said that you can't make an appointment. Now you say that the seats are reserved. Are you slapping your own mouth? Do you think I have no money, or do you think I'm easy to bully? I mean that I don't have the authority to make reservations here." The waiter said, "The reserved seats are reserved with our boss. Even the dishes need to be specially explained to the boss, so eating here is really pretentious." Chen Feng was speechless. "It's just a restaurant. So what if it's 100 years old? Isn't this too fancy?" The waiter said, "I'm sorry. Take care." "It's not very polite to send a guest off like this," Han Zhan said. "I want to see your boss and ask if he has any seats left." The waiter could tell that these 3 people didn't have much knowledge. Although Bai Nian Lu was only a small restaurant in Shaotan town, its name was known throughout the surrounding 3 provinces. The source of customers was not limited to this small town. "Our boss is a little busy right now. I'm afraid he doesn't have time to accompany you. I'm really sorry to disappoint you. Please go back." The waiter sent the guest away again. Chen Feng was really annoyed. Are the people in this place sick? Why do they like to pretend to be calves so much? It's fine if he doesn't show up when we meet his mother, Gao Mingwei. That's because we have a favor to ask of him. Now, he was just trying to book a table in a lousy restaurant, and he even met a pretentious person. What's the matter? As he spoke, Chen Feng slapped the front desk. "Get your boss to come out now, or else I'll smash your shop." This tone wasn't for discussion. It was a very straightforward threat. "I hope you don't cause trouble in this place. This isn't a place you can afford to offend." The waiter frowned. Han Zhan and Yu Marin didn't stop Chen Feng. Perhaps at this time, they really needed someone with a bad temper to solve the problem, right? Chen Feng dragged the waiter out from the front desk. The waiter just wanted to resist, but he was directly thrown out a few meters by Chen Feng. "If you can't arrange a seat for me today, I'll really burn down this Bai Nian Lu. No one can come here to eat." Perhaps Chen Feng's anger had an effect, or perhaps the lighter in Chen Feng's hand threatened the other party. A middle-aged man about 40 years old walked out from the other end of the corridor and walked in front of Yu Marin and the others. "I'm the boss here," the middle-aged man said. "My name is Li He. I'm very happy to meet you. Now you come out and tell me that harmony is the most precious thing? What were you pretending to be just now?" Chen Feng said disdainfully. Li He smiled slightly. "The people in my shop are right. There are indeed no seats. And during this period, about 3 months, there are no seats. All of them are reserved by friends and regulars." Han Zhan saw the boss come out and also signaled Chen Feng to control his emotions. He stepped forward and said, "Boss Li, we really need it. I hope you can help." "It's not that I don't want to help, but they are all my customers. I can't offend anyone." Li He said, "I'm opening a business. I hope you can understand me. Then, is there really no chance? We can only book for 3 months later? Yumerin said anxiously in her heart. Lihi said, there is still a room. However, this place is the most special room in our Banyan Tower. The dishes to be consumed are of a standard. It is not easy for ordinary people to accept it. We didn't plan to accept it easily when we came here. Chen Feng said, you won't say it if we don't force you. Hehe, if this room is booked now, we need 3 days to prepare. Lihi said, if you really accept it, then I will. It's this room. Yumerin said, but why do we need 3 days to prepare? Lihi said, the heaven room is the only special room in our Banyan Tower because this room has served many emperors. All the dishes in this room are also the dishes that the emperors requested. It is definitely not something that ordinary people can eat. Chen Feng smiled and said, you make it sound so mysterious. So what if the emperors ate it? At most, it is the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. If it is the Manchu Han Imperial Feast, then who would want to come to my Banyan Tower to eat? There are too many places in Huaxia that have the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. Lihi said, my place is different. I am not exaggerating. After my father passed away, I took over this restaurant for more than 10 years, and no one has eaten in the heaven room. Then I must try it. Chen Feng said, I admire you very much. This gentleman looks like a person who does great things. Lihi said, I don't know how many of you. We will prepare according to the number of people. We, 5 people. Chen Feng said. He also counted Gao Mingwei's grandson, Gao Shan. Lihi smiled slightly. Then please pay the deposit of 880,000 first. 880,000 deposit? Big brother, did you hear it wrong? I said 5 people, not 500 people, not 5,000 people. It is 5 people. 5 people, and you want 880,000 for me? Chen Feng was really speechless. This Banyan Tower is so dark, and there are still people coming? They are all fools. Yumerin was at a loss. She gritted her teeth and said, if the deposit is 880,000, then how much will this meal cost in the end? 3,650,000. Lihi said, the food you can eat at this price is definitely worth it. There are many places in Yanjing and Shenzhen where you can spend millions for a meal, but the food you can eat here is something you will never be able to eat in those places. You can say that my restaurant is worth more than the price. Every dish is worth more than the price. 5 people, 3,650,000, and you are telling me that it is worth it? Chen Feng really wanted to spit on his face. Is there anything not worth it in your eyes? Even if one dish is 10,000, you still have to serve 365 dishes, right? Can the 5 of us eat it all? Sorry, there are only 8 dishes for 5 people. Lihi said. 8 dishes, more than 3,600,000. One dish is 4 to 500,000. Are your dishes made of diamonds? Chen Feng really wanted to slap him. Don't lie. Even if it is to eat, it is not so expensive. Tell me what your 8 dishes are. I really want to know how you managed to get such a sky-high price. Lihi smiled slightly. Of course, there is a reason why it is expensive. I dare to ask for a price because I guarantee that you will eat a unique taste. Han Zhan and Yumerin were really curious. Isn't this too dark? More than 3 million is not easy to accept even if it is in Japanese yen. This guy is really ruthless. He is not afraid of scaring the customers away. As long as you can say it and make me feel that it is worth it. Chen Feng said, I will definitely have no objections. 3,650,000 it is. Who didn't know how to talk big? He really didn't have 3 million. The 3 of them together didn't have that much money. Chapter 2456. Lihi smiled calmly. Maybe you guys really haven't heard of my 100-year tower. Here, as long as you want to eat it, I can solve it. Don't say so much useless stuff. Just tell us what you can do for 3 million. Chen Feng said, I don't want to hear anything else. Li He made an inviting gesture and let the three of them follow him to the reception room. After the three of them sat down, Li He took out a menu and handed it to the three of them. After Yu Meiran opened the menu and saw the first dish, her expression was not right. Roasted monkey brain. Li He said lightly, the roasted monkey brain here is not an ordinary monkey. It is a golden macaque. National protected animal. It is said that monkeys will squeak when eating brains. It is all wrong. That is because they have never eaten a roasted monkey brain. Although the brain is the nerve center, the brain itself does not feel pain. When eating, the monkey will stay awake to not spoil the freshness of the monkey brain. This dish is just an appetizer. It is only 30,000. You dare to eat a national protected animal. Han Zhan said, you are really not afraid of trouble. I dare to do so to ensure my safety. Li He said, so what if it is a protected animal? He, there is no protected animal that you can't eat here. Yu Meiran did not dare to look at the menu. She directly handed it to Chen Feng. Chen Feng looked at it. It was indeed a cheap dish. The following dishes were hundreds of thousands. Chunhui soup. 360,000 for a soup? Chen Feng said, even a protected animal does not have this price, right? This is a fetus, a 5-month fetus. Its limbs and facial features are all grown out. Its eyes are black and there is a small tail behind it. Li He did not feel anything when he said, do you know what is the best way to cook it? It is milk. The Bible says that if you don't use the mother goat's milk to cook the lamb, that is because they don't know how to enjoy it. This chunhui soup is to use the mother's milk to cook the fetus. That is why it is called chunhui soup. What does chunhui mean? It is maternal love. Yu Meiran almost vomited. This is too abnormal. Even Chen Feng almost threw the menu away. This place made him feel terrified. Of course we didn't force them, Li He said. We paid for it, so naturally, someone would sell it. Then what is this imperial concubine crisp? Milk and meat. The main ingredient is the breast of a pregnant woman. Li He's expression was still calm. Fragrant, smooth, and tender. It's many times more delicious than the most beautiful camel's hump. This time, even Chen Feng was silent. Li He knew that they were really shocked. He wanted them to be shocked. He wanted them to know that the food here was a taste that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. The gallbladder of Xiangwang makes a crunching sound when chewed. It's crispy and fragrant. Li He continued, I want to help you find an 18-year-old young man, the strongest young man. Bring him here and use the freshly extracted kidney as the main ingredient. I'll charge you 640,000 yuan for this dish. That's not too expensive, right? Yu Meiran couldn't take it anymore. She got up and walked to the bathroom. This is illegal. Han Zhan said. What's illegal? I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. If they're willing to sell, we're willing. We're all willing. Li He said, there's nothing wrong with it. Chen Feng took a deep breath and looked at the most expensive dish. It was called Shouyang Ginseng. When his eyes fell on the price of 880,000 yuan, Li He smiled. Shouyang Ginseng looks like a well-grown sea cucumber. It's light red and trembles gently on the plate. It makes a squeaking sound when chewed. It's the first time a 9-year-old boy has experienced the yang. It nourishes the yin and strengthens the yang, moistens the lungs, quenches thirst, strengthens the body, and can cure infertility, weak bodies, cold, and sadness. It can even make humans forget eternal loneliness. At this point, Chen Feng couldn't stand it anymore. The drink prepared in the sky room is the falling cherry cup. It's served in the Qianlong Emperor's 7 treasures glazed cup. The cup is dazzling, and the cup is filled with bright red liquid. It's the best drink in the world. 1 out of 1 million people knows, 1 out of 10 million people sees, and only 1 out of 100 million people is qualified to taste it. This is the virgin. Female. Blood. When he finished speaking, he was a little excited and agitated. Bang! Chen Feng threw the menu directly on the ground. Today, I'm going to bleed you. If I don't burn down this black shop, I'll King change my surname to yours. Angry. Chen Feng was completely angry. Han Zhan didn't stop him this time. He couldn't stand the existence of this place. This place was simply destroying their outlook on life. It was really terrible. Yu Meiren kept vomiting in the bathroom. This was the most disgusting thing she had ever heard in her life. In the past, after he introduced everything to the customers would worship him. But now, the customers he faced didn't worship him at all. They directly beat him up. Even if all the employees in the Banyan Tower came out, they were no match for the two of them. Almost everyone was beaten black and blue. They hugged their heads and ran away. Only he was tied to the pillar in the front hall by Chen Feng. Just like that, he watched as the two men smashed all the decorations in Banyan Tower into smithereens. If it wasn't because the Banyan Tower was definitely a historical relic, Chen Feng would have burned it down. This place was a disaster if it was left alone. It was said that if there was no business, there would be no harm. This was true. Some people didn't know what to do once they had money. It was creepy to think about using the pain and regret of other people's lives to exchange for that moment of pleasure. It was normal for people to feel creepy. If they didn't think it was a big deal, they should really see a psychiatrist. After turning the entire Banyan Tower into ruins, Chen Feng walked in front of He and patted his face. Someone will definitely investigate you for these things that you have done. You can wait to go to jail for the rest of your life. Investigate me? Humph. No one will investigate me. He said angrily, you guys should be careful. I will definitely let you die without a burial place. Then let's try. Let's see if anyone will investigate you. Chen Feng said. Of course, he knew that no one would investigate him in this place. He dared to be so blatant, which meant that he had made all the connections. If they wanted to investigate, he would let the higher-ups investigate directly and let them be completely convinced. If they wanted to investigate the guests who came to eat here, these people definitely had problems. People who didn't have problems wouldn't do this kind of thing. The money came cleanly and seriously. They wouldn't be willing to come to this kind of place to satisfy their psychological disgusting needs. Therefore, the people who were related to the Banyan Tower weren't good people. They were all sick. After everything was over, Yu Meiren said that she couldn't stay here for a minute. The three of them hurriedly drove away. Although he would definitely be investigated in the future, they still didn't want to have any entanglements with him now. Unless they could get orders from the higher-ups to directly sentence him to death on the spot, they really couldn't waste time with this kind of person. After the three of them left the Banyan Tower, Yu Meiren asked to go to Gao Mingwei's house again. She wanted to prove one thing. If Gao Mingwei was also a guest of the Banyan Tower, she would immediately cut off their master-disciple relationship. This kind of person didn't deserve to be her master. When Gao Shan opened the door again, Chen Feng was too lazy to pretend to be a grandson. He directly pulled Gao Shan in front of him. Kid, you want to eat the food of the Banyan Tower, right? Well, I've ordered it. I'll take you to be the main ingredient later. Gao Shan was confused by this sudden attack, but he didn't look as arrogant as before this time. He looked at the three people carefully. The three people were very angry, which made Gao Shan a little overwhelmed. He was really a little scared. Today, I must see my master. Yu Meiren said, whether you agree or not, I have to see him. Do you know that you are breaking the law? Breaking into private property. Gao Shan said. We broke in. What can you do? Chen Feng said angrily, I'm in a very bad mood now. You'd better not challenge my limit. Otherwise, I really dare to chop you. Gao Shan swallowed a mouthful of saliva. You all calm down first. I'll go and inform my grandfather now, okay? You let me go first. If you dare to play any tricks, I'll kill you. Chen Feng said fiercely, I don't have so much patience. Chapter 2457. Realizing that the problem was more serious this time, Gao Shan didn't dare to act rashly. After being released by Qian Feng, he quickly left. I'm telling you. Tell your grandfather that the place he wanted to eat has been smashed by us. Don't think about going there again. Han Zhan didn't speak until he suddenly spoke. The experience of the Banyan Tower made the three of them unable to calm down until now, so they couldn't speak properly and couldn't think about other problems. This time, Gao Mingwei didn't refuse their request. When Gao Mingwei appeared in front of Yu Meiren didn't have the initial expectation. You're good. You're not simple. Gao Mingwei said faintly, you've only been in Xiaotan town for a few days, and you've already smashed the Banyan Tower. You're worthy of being Wan Guangxiao's good student. Mr. Gao, we're here for an important matter. I hope you can cooperate with us. Han Zhan still maintained his politeness. We're very grateful. Gao Mingwei smiled and glanced at Yu Meiren. You're here too. I didn't expect it. Aren't all the men who go out for missions over there? This time, they actually let a girl come out. Teacher Gao, I haven't seen you for so many years. You still look as young as before. Yu Meiren said faintly, I hope you'll always be healthy. If I pay more attention to maintenance, I can naturally live for a few more years. Gao Mingwei laughed. This time, you brought me so many nutritious products. Thank you very much. Qian Feng sneered at the side. You go to the Banyan Tower to eat things from people. How can you not maintain it well? You're really nourished by what you eat. When Gao Mingwei heard Qian Feng's words, he smiled and shook his head. It seems that you can't accept the things in the Banyan Tower. Hey. Good. You're all interesting young people. You actually smashed the Banyan Tower. Teacher Gao, do you know what's eaten in the Banyan Tower? Yu Meiren said, would you really go to that kind of place to eat? Eating those things would shorten one's lifespan, only wild beasts would do that. This is the biggest difference between humans and beasts. Gao Mingwei said indifferently, you guys don't really think that I'm so well maintained because I eat the things in the 100-Year Tower. I don't have such a good appetite. Then why do you want us to go there? Yu Meiren was puzzled. If you don't often go to Banyan Tower to eat, why do you want us to book a table for you? My grandfather didn't say that. I didn't say that either. Takasuji said, that's what you understand. You've already looked for it. Even if you don't accept it now, you can't blame us, right? Qian Feng was enraged when he heard what the kid said. What do you want us to think about the place you're talking about? We asked around before we found the 100-Year Tower. And only the 100-Year Tower meets your requirements. But I didn't say it was the 100-Year Tower. Takasuji said. Gao Mingwei raised his hand. All right, there's no need to say so much. Asking you to find the 100-Year Tower is my idea. Teacher, do you really want to go to that place to eat? Yu Meiren couldn't help but ask, don't you feel uncomfortable? You misunderstood. Gao Mingwei said, I just want to borrow your hands to tear down the 100-Year Tower. My taste isn't that heavy. I also know that it's not eating that kind of thing to maintain the body. What era is it now? There are still people who believe in these superstitious things. Han Zhan was stunned. You want us to tear down the 100-Year Tower? Qian Feng said, Old Mr. Gao, isn't what you said a bit too far-fetched? We came to you because we have a request. If you have a request, just tell us directly. Can we not help you solve it? Do you still need to beat around the bush? If I don't beat around the bush, how can I let you do this willingly? Gao Mingwei said, only if you have anger in your heart will you be willing to get rid of the 100-Year Tower. You can also use your relationship with your superiors to thoroughly investigate Li He. The three of them were really at a loss. If I don't let you know what the 100-Year Tower is based on, you won't do it so happily. You will think that I am using you to do something to bully others. Gao Mingwei said, I don't want to bear that kind of reputation. That kind of reputation will make me look bad. Then you will use this method? Yu Meiren's heart suddenly relaxed a lot. Gao Mingwei nodded. Girl, don't worry. Master is not the kind of person who has a mental illness. I also accidentally found out about the 100-Year Tower. I wanted to find a chance to completely destroy the 100-Year Tower many times, but every time I came back with no success. Your arrival has let me see hope. Old Mr. Gao, you are playing a bit too big this time. Chen Feng said, I made up my mind just now. If you're someone who likes to eat those things, I might just throw all respect to the old and love the young out of the 9 heavens. Han Zhan also breathed a sigh of relief. Old Mr. Gao has nothing to do with the 100-Year Tower. Naturally, it is the best. Just now you wanted to hit me. Gao Shan said, now you know the truth, right? Shouldn't you apologize to me? Knowing the truth, my tears fell. Chen Feng rolled his eyes. You are not at a loss. You have troubled us so many times and received so many gifts from us. I have emotions. You should understand me. You don't really think that our family cares about your things, right? What you have is nothing to our family. Chen Feng just wanted to say that they still accepted the gifts, but he was stopped by Han Zhan. As long as Gao Mingwei agreed to meet them, and they also solved the 100-Year Tower that Gao Mingwei wanted to solve, then they could talk about business. I did want to deliberately embarrass you, Marin. Gao Mingwei smiled. Once people get older, sometimes they will throw their old temper. Girl, I hope you can forgive me. How would I dare to blame teacher? Yu Marin hurriedly said. Gao Mingwei took a deep breath. Girl, do you know why I wanted to deliberately embarrass you? It is not that I am old and muddle-headed, but that I really blame you in my heart. Yu Marin was startled. She did not understand what teacher Gao meant. You are the one with the most potential among all the students I have taught. Gao Mingwei said, I thought highly of you, but after I went to the Dragon Brigade, so many years have passed. You know where I live, but you never came to see me. I really thought that you had forgotten about me. A teacher for a day is a father for life. Yu Marin does not dare to forget teacher Gao. Yu Marin said sincerely. Gao Mingwei smiled. So when you came to find me for something, I felt that it was unfair. I wondered if no one would miss me when I was useless. I felt that I was a failure as a teacher. Yu Marin shook her head vigorously. No, I really did not mean that. I am sorry, teacher. I know I was wrong. Everything is my fault. No, you are not wrong. Actually, I have already thought it through. Gao Mingwei said. You belong to the Dragon Brigade's medical department. You are not normal people. You have to be on standby 24/7. Xiaotan Town is so far from Yanjing. You do not have time to come. I know all of this too well. Yu Marin could only shake her head. I will not blame you, Gao Mingwei said. From what I know about Wan Guangxiao, his family is in Yanjing. Sometimes, he is so busy that he stays in the army and does not have time to go home. You really do not have the time or opportunity to visit me. It is my fault. I will definitely visit teacher in the future, Yu Marin said. No, you cannot do that. You have to be loyal to your profession, to your country, and to your people. Gao Mingwei said. Your potential must be used on the right things. Otherwise, it will be a waste of your talent. Yu Marin shook her head. If I disappoint my own teacher, then how can I be loyal to my country and people? Gao Mingwei said, That is not right, girl. Teacher is disappointed because teacher is old, foolish, and selfish. This has nothing to do with you. It is my fault, not yours. I should not have been so selfish to have such thoughts. Chapter 2458. After dispelling each other's doubts, Yu Marin's mood was much better. Knowing that Mr. Gao was not that kind of person, she felt much more relaxed than anyone else. I know that you must have come here for something very important, but I have wasted so many days of your time. Gao Mingwei said, I'm really sorry. Mr. Gao, please don't say that. Han Zhan said, We are already very sorry for disturbing you. If you say that now, it will really make us feel ashamed. Gao Mingwei said, well, no matter what it is, as long as I can do it for you, I will do my best. Hearing this, the three of them finally breathed a sigh of relief. With his words, it meant that everything they had done was worth it. This problem was completely solved. I need you to help me analyze a virus. I want to know how to completely eliminate this virus, Umaran said. Okay, then come with me to my study. Gao Mingwei said, I will help you analyze it slowly. Umaran nodded vigorously, and the two of them went to the study. After Umaran listed the analysis of the components of the Ebola virus, Gao Mingwei quickly realized what kind of virus it was. He looked at Umaran with some surprise, as if he was very surprised. Umaran had nothing to hide from Mr. Gao, so she told Gao Mingwei about the Ebola virus weapon. Gao Mingwei was suddenly enlightened. He was amazed by the virus and bacteria experts in the European Union's Weapons Research Lab. They were really geniuses to be able to come up with such a way to create a virus that could cause people to die and mutate. Therefore, although those disgusting zombie movies from the American Empire were just movies, there was a real possibility that they could cause a global disaster one day. If the virus experts in the European Union's Weapons Research Lab were crazy, they could throw their research and development into the oceans and water sources all over the world. In less than a month, the world would really become a horror scene on TV. This is really the most terrible thing I have ever seen in my life. Gao Mingwei said, if we can't completely develop a cure for this thing, and a large-scale virus infection really breaks out, I'm afraid no one will be able to reverse the situation. Umaran nodded. That's right. That's why I need your help. My own strength isn't enough. Little girl, you really think too highly of me. Gao Mingwei said, if you want to solve this problem, I'm afraid that I won't be enough. I need a laboratory. In addition, I also need volunteers to participate in this laboratory. Umaran was taken aback. Teacher, are you saying that we need to conduct human experiments? Gao Mingwei's expression was very serious. That's right. If we want to solve this problem, we have to do live experiments. Otherwise, no one can easily determine the composition and ratio. Is this the only way? Umaran said. Is there no other way? Gao Mingwei shook his head. Sometimes, science itself was cruel. Many times, these experiments would use white mice, little white rabbits, and even various other animals. Humans would do some cruel things for their own scientific progress. However, when people needed human bodies to do experiments, this kind of cruelty would still make people feel that it was escalating. After all, they were humans. In this world, the only people who would use living people for experiments was probably the damn Japanese Unit 731. Other than that perverted unit, there would definitely be no one else like that devil Shiro Ishii. How many Huaxia people were cruelly tortured to death by this demon-like unit back then? In 2013, the king of idiots in Japan, Abe III, had carefully planned to board the training plane number 731 of the Air Self-Defense Force Base in Songdo, Miyagi Prefecture, and put on a show in the cockpit to attract reporters to take photos. No wonder his father in the United States was angry at that time, saying that his photo was equivalent to the German chancellor wearing a Nazi uniform. As the Prime Minister of Japan, instead of reflecting on their invasion history and looking at this period of history correctly, he actually did something like this. This was definitely not a misunderstanding caused by Abe III's ignorance. It was impossible for him not to know what 731 was. Those who understood the history of World War II knew that in the series of Japanese military designations, 731 was not a group of ordinary numbers. It was the code of the Japanese Guandong Army's secret germ warfare unit, which was synonymous with germ warfare in Japan. It was also irrefutable evidence of the crimes against humanity committed by the Japanese imperialists in World War II. Abe III, as the new prime minister, actually used plane 731 as a metaphor to praise the notorious and heinous germ warfare unit. He glorified the Japanese war, humiliated the people of Huaxia, and challenged the psychological bottom line of the people of Huaxia. At that time, Many people could see that Abe III's deliberate planning was because he was proud of this evil unit. He wanted to summon the souls of the World War II war criminals and resurrect them in today's Japan. The smoke of World War II had long since dissipated, but the ghosts of the devils who caused the war in Japan had not dissipated, and the undercurrents of the war were turbulent. People like Abe III tried their best to distort and even deny the history of World War II, especially the history of the invasion of China. They intended to tamper with people's historical memories to justify Japan's war of aggression and Japan's war of aggression. The Japanese secretly destroyed the evidence of the evil history of Unit 731 on the eve of their defeat. After the war, they carefully preserved the relevant research results and made a dirty deal with the American Empire, which protected them. As a result, the truth was never revealed to the world. Abe dared to show off Unit 731 because he thought that this evil history could not be investigated. He could even shape this unit into a heroic unit to summon the souls of the Japanese war criminals. However, Abe III's wishful thinking was wrong. This idiot once again shot himself in the foot. The people of Huaxia and the world, including the Japanese who upheld justice, would never let this evil history disappear. The original members of Unit 731 who still had a conscience would not let this evil history disappear. After many people at home and abroad searched and sorted out over a long period of time, a large amount of first-hand information was now enough to completely expose the evil history of this evil unit. The irrefutable historical facts were enough to firmly nail the ruins of this evil unit's headquarters and the ruins of Nazi Germany's Auschwitz concentration camp on the pillar of shame in history. Abe III's approach was also a way to humiliate himself. Perhaps he didn't know how humiliating it was for him to do this, and he was secretly happy. If there's no one to be a test subject, I'm afraid it'll be really difficult to complete this matter, Gao Mingwei said. If possible, perhaps we can only use prisoners on death row. Yu Meiren shook her head. Even prisoners on death row have human rights. We definitely can't do such a thing. What's the difference between this and those human-shaped beasts under the cover of the title of doctor in Japan? Gao Mingwei shook his head helplessly. No, we can't do that. If we do that, what's the difference between us and Unit 731 in Japan? Yu Meiren said, if we're like this unit that owes the people of Huaxia a blood debt that has yet to be settled and repaid, then I definitely can't accept it. Gao Mingwei did not know what to say. Back then, before and after Japan surrendered, most of the members of Unit 731 fled back to Japan. In order to escape the post-war trial, they tried their best to cover up their experiences in Unit 731. They chose to live in seclusion, change their names, and even fake their deaths in an attempt to escape the trial of war criminals. Yu Meiren said, in order to cover up the tragic crimes of Unit 731, Shiro Ishii ordered all the unused test subjects in the special prison to be executed, and all the important information and equipment were burned. If these people know that we'll use living people for experiments, then what right do we have to seek revenge for the blood debt from back then? Girl, this is different, Gao Mingwei said. Sometimes, science is really cruel. Yu Meiren shook her head. That's absolutely not allowed. I know you can't accept it, Gao Mingwei said. This is indeed something that's not so easy to accept. Back then, in order to obtain information related to germ warfare, some of the politicians in the American Empire finally made a dirty deal on the condition that the members of Unit 731 would be exempted from war responsibility. They obtained secret information about Unit 731's human experiments, germ warfare, and so on. Yu Meiren said, after that, the United States and Japan joined forces to deliberately cover up Unit 731's crimes against humanity. They even forgot about the existence of this evil unit. The Iron Curtain was heavy, and they kept it a secret. But this isn't a problem that we can solve. Gao Mingwei said, right now, a large amount of first-hand information, as well as a portion of the Unit 731's germ warfare information that has been released in the declassified files of the American Empire's National Archives, has already revealed a corner of the Iron Curtain. The evidence is irrefutable. They can't deny it. Yu Meiren said, so, if we do this, what will the American Empire and the Japanese think? How will they use our experiments to publicize it? No. Absolutely not. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.